you on this August 19th, 5 days from the start of college football. Countdown is really on. You can be down to the minute count by now and be getting very close to Saturday afternoon's play with Miami and Florida, and also the Hawaii Rainbows and the Arizona Wildcats with Kevin Sumlin. Those are 2 games on Saturday. I watched more preseason football this weekend, more NFL preseason this weekend than I've watched in the total leading up to this weekend, and that's about all I can do with it. I'm about done. I did love watching Tony Pollard play and playing against Darrell Henderson. And I told you I had a buddy of mine from outside this area, nonpartisan, just how did they lose 6 games last year? It was simple. I texted back, simple. They didn't play defense.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally get that simple, and I've heard a lot of people say it, and I ultimately agree. You know, we didn't really use Tony Pollard to the full extension that we should have. But
where's he get carries?
Exactly. Where were you going to use him? Darrell Henderson ran for nearly 2,000 yards last year. You had to get Patrick Taylor ran for over 1,000. So kind of it's only one ball, only so many plays.
Gabe Kuhn has made the prediction. He thinks Tony Pollard will be the better of those 2 backs, and he very well could be. I think it's going to be a good debate and a good argument, and hopefully they're both real good, and both could be this year.
I think they both will, and I think they're both in perfect situations. Not a lot of pressure on them going into their rookie season to produce that much and to be the guy, especially with Darrell Henderson following Todd Gurley. And you'd like to think
he might
that
be done.
Yeah, you'd like to think that the Zeke holdout's going to be over, and it should be over very, very soon.
Jerry Jones said Zeke who? To the Chuckle Hut laughter of the year from the reporter. Did you see that guy?
I did. I mean,
Chappelle's never gotten bigger laugh lines than that, has he?
No, nobody's gotten that type of laugh before.
What the Chuckle Hut was that guy thinking? Come on, he wasn't near that funny, was it?
No, at
let
most,
me,
if
let
you're
me
gonna
try to cozy up to Jerry.
Basically, if you're gonna chuckle, it would have been like a.
I mean, that was more than the obligatory radio laugh, wasn't it?
Oh yes, definitely.
That was just guffawing and rolling in the. I mean, that was almost Garrison Keillor type humor, wasn't it? I've never gotten that. Please, somebody tell me when that gets funny, when that gets interesting. But that was something to see with the Cowboys playing in Honolulu, to the shock of no one. Justin Fields named the starting quarterback today at Ohio State. To the shock of no one, Jalen Hurts named the starter today at Oklahoma. I'm going to bet you that both of those schools started school today, that today was first day.
Yeah, probably with it being announced, because they always wait, even though everybody and their grandmother knows who's going to be starting. I mean, even just the audacity that Lincoln Riley would publicly say, I'm not naming a starter yet because the battle's apparently that close. You know it's Jalen Hurts.
We are Sportstime with Dave Wolotion, Brett Norsworthy, Wolo and Stats. Today, Drew Barrett. You'll hear him a lot because Dave is away today. He's back tomorrow. But to the shock of nobody, all these starting quarterback jobs, I don't know why Lincoln Riley even played around. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I do. Because of probably a quality backup or two, keep them interested, keep them engaged. It was never about Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts has proven what he can do on the field. SEC Offensive Player of the Year as a true freshman. And kind of like Pollard and Henderson, he didn't play defense. It wasn't his job to stop Deshaun Watson on that last Clemson drive, or he would have been a national championship quarterback at Alabama.
Yeah, and with the way the transfer portal seems to be nowadays, I don't even know why you have to wait until school starts to try to keep them interested there.
Because that won't do it either.
We saw last year with Kelly Bryant transferring in the middle of the season.
Yeah,
I mean, they're going to do it whenever they want to.
But there's a little nuance there with grad transfer and just, hey, I'm not happy here. I want to go somewhere else. I wonder when we get it, and we will. I wonder when we get a guy that plays 4 years at 4 different places, and maybe 4 places in the neighborhood. I mean, because now you're getting transfer to the rivalry. I mean, you easily could get, a guy that plays for Michigan as a freshman and Ohio State the rest of his career.
It's coming down to it. I mean, especially with the different red shirts and exemptions that guys get. I mean, heck, Brady White's now on like his 9th year of eligibility. So,
which I don't mind that if you truly were aggrieved and you missed out on your shot. And we've had special exemptions for 6-year players before, but yeah, I mean you're getting plenty of a chance of an opportunity to play college football, which I guess is a good thing. We will talk a lot of college football today at 3:30, though. We will talk golf this week and next to round out the golf talk with Ted Butler as Justin Thomas won over the weekend at Medina, and they brought Medina to its knees. We will visit with Ted about that, setting up the Tour Championship this week in Atlanta. And how about Justin Thomas gets to sleep on 4 nights with a 2-shot lead going into Thursday with how they're doing the scoring.
Definitely want to be him right now. I mean, that's the way that it ultimately folds out, is you want to create yourself so much space.
He's up 2 shots for $15 million.
Even if he loses those 2 shots, he still makes buku's loads of money finishing 2nd or 3rd or 4th. I mean, what you told me earlier, what does the last place guy make?
$395.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
All you have to do is not withdraw and you win.
Sauna around East Lake, home of Bobby Jones for about 4 days. Collect you $395. Take care of your caddy. Take care of your people.
Easy payday.
Take care of the hotel tab. You walk out +3 easy, don't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Taxman's got to get a little bit. Fine.
Still a lot better payday than 99% of people in this country.
Still clearing 175 to 2. You played golf for 4 days. Not a bad deal, is it?
No, I definitely think it's probably the best deal anybody's getting this coming week.
Pretty good deal. At 4 o'clock, we visit with David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal to talk about the Grizzlies and the NBA at 4:30. College football talk. Intense at that time with our friend, our coordinator, our defensive coordinator, John Thompson, coached at a lot of different places in this area. And we will get his perspective on what it's like a week of for one place he coached. He coached at Florida. But for everybody else, the week out mindset before school starts at 4:45. We will talk the AP poll. It was released today. We'll also have medals around 3:45. 5 o'clock, Barrett Jones joins us to talk college football. He will be on the call on ESPN Radio on Saturday night for the Florida-Miami game, as he will be featured on Saturday night as the analyst all season long on the featured Saturday night college football game on radio. And at 5:30, I'm going to weigh in on something I know you and Dave are going to do later in the week. I'll be away after today. I know you and Dave are going to do it one day this week. I'm going to do it today. I don't see how close I am to y'all. So save mine. If I forget to give it to you, make sure
I'll write them down.
You got it. I'm going to rank 1 through 12, with 1 being the most important and 12 being the least important, the order of importance of the Tigers football games this year.
I think you can pretty much, anybody out there, 1 and
12?
1 and 12 is set. I think it might be a little bit of a mixture. I think it is.
Is 1 that set?
It is. It should be.
Looking at a lot of American Athletic Conference schedules and such over the weekend, because next week we will pick the East and West title game participants, where, and the teams that will be in it. It looks like the East is the stronger of the two sides.
I don't know if it's, I would say, stronger, but more cooks in the kitchen that can come out of it.
More top heavy.
More top heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Memphis and Houston could both win the conference outright, but when you look over at the East, you've got 3, possibly even 4, depending on what kind of a team Temple has this year. But you think of the Central Florida, South Florida, and Cincinnati, definitely going to be probably 1, 2, and 3 in whatever order you think.
I also was looking today at opening weekend college football Vegas lines, the point spreads for games, and I was stunned by this one. In the AAC opening weekend, Navy only a 20.5-point favorite over FCS Holy Cross. Now, if you're ever going to play Navy, opening day is a good time. Opening day or a bowl game is a good time to get them.
Yeah, that way you have plenty of time to prepare.
Plenty of tape, plenty of prep. look, they're not going to come out and throw 5 wideouts on you.
Yeah,
You know what they're running opening day.
I'm pretty sure the reason why the line's so small is because of, they're not going to go out there and put up 49, 50 points on a regular basis. Most of their games are going to be about 21, 28, possibly get up to 35 every now and then. But when you run the ball that much, that's a lot of clock being eaten up.
Oklahoma in Norman against hosting Houston on Sunday of Labor Day weekend, Sunday, September 1st. What do you think the point spread is? I was stunned at the size of this point spread.
I haven't seen it, but now that you said that, I'm going to say OU minus somewhere around 17.5.
25. That seems heavy.
That's way too high. I'd take Houston.
Well, you can have that as your shock college football pick.
I will. I'll take that as my underdog special of the week.
That could be your shocker. And if it wins straight up, you get even more points. We're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together, celebrating the end of summer with the end of summer liquidation sale. Pools as low as $19.99. Patio furniture starts at $12.99. Swim spas begin at $9.99. There's still enough summer left to enjoy great deals during the end of summer liquidation sale at Family Leisure 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. A couple headlines that really grabbed me today. I mentioned the naming of starting quarterbacks, no shock at all there. I mentioned the Jerry Jones being the Chuckle Hut Comedian of the Year with the Zeke Elliott, Zeke Who comment, but also this one. 60 years old, David Blatt, the former coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and what he's getting ready to go through. I would love, if I could somehow get a hold of it, I would tell David Blatt, you're going to have some really, really rotten days, but you got a lot of good days ahead of you. Get plenty of rest, exercise a lot more than a lot of people do that should be exercising more, and it'll be fine. And after years of, he said feeling bad, he thought it was just the hustle bustle, and that's what gets everybody with it. But saw that about David Blatt, and largely, about 68 to 70%. It's a female disease and mostly younger, but about 30, 33% male. But I saw that with David Blatt earlier today, so sure want to be thinking about him because he's gonna have a day where it just doesn't all line out right. You're thinking, what in the heck's going on? But I promise you, you'll be fine, David Blatt. Lexus brings us this hour every day. They're our sponsor every day of this hour, and we so appreciate it. 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Give them a call at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the golden opportunity. Late summer sales event, great offers on all 2019 models, and always on special lease options. If you ever thought I'd look great in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus of Memphis thinks you would look great in a Lexus as well. Driving luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2019 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style. Lexus of Memphis, the highest standards in the industry. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com, 362-8833. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis. Before we get to the top story, Drew, I want you to be very careful, on guard when we get to metals at about 345 or 350. Whatever delay, dump button, lunatic alert, maybe medicate me, call 911, be ready for it when I get to the Rust Award. And I'm serious that if you're watching on the stream right now, if you're watching on Facebook right now, you may watch my head explode when I get to the Rust of the Week. I can't believe we're seriously going to be talking about it.
Top story of the day.
Tigers' trip to the Bahamas went pretty much how they planned it. It couldn't have gone really any better. Could it? I mean, you go out and just blast people, had a good time, easy wins.
I don't think you get better than 4-0.
No, you can't be better than 4-0, and how they did it, and those margins racked up really big margins in those games. It was easy for them, and it also provides this by opening night. That was the gasoline. That was the accelerant onto the bonfire leading up to this year. The good kind of fun run up to the season. Dave's alluded to it. I think he's a little, I don't want to speak for him, but I think he's been a little bit reluctant to say this is the most anticipated season ever. But it's got to be in the top 2 or 3 at worst, doesn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, honestly, it might not be the most anticipated season. I think that still probably belongs to 07-08 coming off of 2 back-to-back Elite 8 trips.
And it has already proven in the tournament what they can do.
Yes, but this is the most talented team. I mean, just pure talent, compared to other teams, this one blows them out of the water.
Yeah, it's got to get some experience, though.
Yes, cannot sell experience short. Talent can only take you so far, but I think for a lot of people, and me included, you watched a lot of these guys as high school, highlight reel, and you saw what they could do, but you said, can they all put it together? Can 5 of these superstars really put it together and still have that highlight reel type of plays? And I think we saw it. I mean, every single one of them just blew me away at one point or another.
Did you have an MVP from afar from just keeping? I think he was DJ Jeffries. I mean, we knew he was that good. Look, Kentucky wanted him. So, that makes you good right there. And the Tigers got him. The riches they have. Your top story?
My top story of the day is we touched on it a little bit earlier. The AP poll is out. No shockers of who's at top or near the top. Clemson at 1, Bama 2, Georgia and OU to round out the top 5. I was a little surprised that Memphis only received 6 votes. And
good for 40th? Is that right?
Yes, 40th in the nation if you're going to count it off. But with that small of votes, it'll probably take the U of M a 6-0, maybe even 7-0 start to even crack the top 25.
Yeah, but
it's going to take a while.
If they did that, though, the attrition, you'd start chopping wood. You'd get into it, but you got to start that way.
Yeah, but I'd rather start nice cushiony, about 27.
Not top story of the day.
Mentioned the Memphis Tigers. My not top story is Tiger Woods. His year is over. I think it was successful. It started well with a 20th place finish at Torrey Pines. It ended with a 37th place finish at Medina. In between, history was made at Augusta National. And after that, not much else. But the good, it outweighs the bad. A 15th major, a 5th green jacket, it outweighs the bad. And the next time we see him in any real competition, we'll probably be back at Torrey Pines at next year at San Diego. And the most we'll see him next year, I think he played 9 events this year, 12, 13 max. I mean, even
no, I don't even think he gets up to that. I think maximum we get 10.
2020 at Torrey Pines will be the next time we see him in real competition.
My not top story of the day is the strange thing of people having mixed feelings about Raiders GM Mike Mayock giving Antonio Brown somewhat of an ultimatum, saying over the weekend that it's time for him to be all in or all out. Well, yeah, it is time. I mean, we're 2-3 weeks away from the start of the regular season in the NFL. It's time for him to be on the field. They put a lot of investment into AB to be on the field, not to be moping around because he can't wear a helmet anymore. I understand the feet. I understand the injury part. Get well, but you just sitting out of practice because over a helmet that the NFL has deemed not safe, like, man, get your butt out there. Hey, we're coming up to the season.
Here's an argument Antonio Brown cannot win. Right now, there are 90 players on every NFL roster. They got to get down to the opening day roster, but right now there are 90. So 90 times 32, right? So that would be
I'm not good
2880, right?
Sure.
2879 are good to go with the helmet.
How come everybody else is okay with it, but you're just the one little holdout? I mean, if you had some momentum and other guys behind you, maybe I could understand. But if you're the only person in the league that really cares that much about this old helmet, I mean, even Tom Brady had his little bit of a disagreement about it, but he gave it up.
Let's say 10% of the, 5% of the, 2% of the players were irritated at the helmet. Well, maybe Players Association would maybe need to go to management, go to the commissioner, and go, look, we've got 40 players that don't like this headgear. There's one.
Yeah,
there's one.
And it's not. It'd be completely different if he thought that this helmet was safer than the new ones, and that's not his argument. His argument is saying that he doesn't think he can see as well in the new ones, and it's not like the NFL's trying to take away this perfectly safe helmet and give him a leather thing to put on his head. They're trying to make it safer for him.
And you're hearing some people say, well, just have him sign a waiver. Look, the NFL right now with claims from concussion, head injury stuff, they're at $700 million in either payouts or what will be paid out. $700 to $800 million, which unbelievably to them is not that big a deal. They have it. But in order to pay that, you couldn't get him to sign enough for a potential lawsuit with their exposure if he got injured in an unapproved by league and by Players Association helmet. He's not going to win this. What if it's this? And it happens. It happens to everybody in everything. What if he just doesn't want to go to work tomorrow? What if he just doesn't want to play football anymore? And he's concocting this. He's looking for something.
That'd be a terrible look. I mean, just the worst look. He's getting paid to play a game.
That's
the easiest thing to do in life.
Does he run out on the field the first time the Raiders have the football opening night? 3 weeks from tonight. Is it 3 weeks from tonight? Monday Night Football?
Yes.
Their opener against Denver. Does he run out first offensive series with the Raiders?
I'm going to say yes, having some hope left in him. I'm thinking that he'll finally get the message and cooperate. I'm slowly starting to lose that hope because he hasn't been very cooperative.
He's not been very cooperative. And with Le'Veon Bell, I think the Jets are just trying to protect him. And look, no need for one hit on him in any preseason, but somewhere in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin, the Rooneys, a lot of fans, those are your problems. You can have them both.
We'll be just fine with Big Ben, James Conner, and Juju Smith-Schuster.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be just fine. We're not going to miss them that much.
They need two more pieces at wide receiver to step up, and I think James Washington and I think Dante Moncrief will help. They need something else because Juju Smith-Schuster, he was that good with 84 on the other side.
Yeah, it helped a lot when you weren't getting double-teamed every play.
We will talk golf. 1 week left, the Tour Championship this week, and we also talk about the big win that Doug Barron had on the Champions Tour. We do that. We do it with Ted Butler. That's next. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process. You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Stop. Pick up your golf clubs. Head to my favorite place, Vantage Point Golf Center, 9580 Macon Road in Cordova. Open 7 days a week. Vantage Point Golf Center. They got it all. Top tracer powered by Top Golf. Track your shots like the pros. You know exactly where you hit the ball. Have a beer, eat a sandwich, and relax. Over 50 grass spots and fully lit for nighttime. There are 18 holes of mini golf. It's fun for the whole family. Visit Vantage Point Golf Center. They've got it all. 1 mile west of Houston Levee.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day. group play, and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
The Vargas family, legendary Memphis restaurateur, starting with Mr. Charlie and continuing today with his grandchildren.
Brett, it just dawned on me the other day that while Memphis is celebrating its bicentennial, the Rendezvous has been here well over one-third of Memphis's existence. Someone asked me if we remember the day the Rendezvous started, and I tell them no, because if we thought it was going to last this long, we'd have kept much better records. But we're not a place to rest on our laurels or reputation. We're always trying to add new things to make our customers' experience more enjoyable. Friday lunches have always been special because we give away our red beans and rice. But we are now adding a sausage sandwich. It's the same sausage we serve on our cheese and sausage plate, but it will be served lengthwise on the bun with beans and slaw on the side. We've also partnered with a company called Devillet out of Dyersburg to introduce a new sweet glazed mustard with Rendezvous seasoning in it. It will really go great with a sandwich. I still recommend adding slaw. My grandfather had a hot dog stand on Beale Street in 1916, and we've come full circle using his slaw on our hot dogs. Hope to see you this Friday at the Rendezvous.
In the Alley in downtown Memphis.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving. Built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Norsworthy.
Dave will be back with us next Monday when the golf year will be over, and to talk about it with us every Monday since the Monday before the Masters at Augusta National. Ted Butler, mainstay on this show through the years, whether it's morning or afternoon. He joins us every Monday afternoon. And Ted, what a weekend for Doug Barron. We were talking in the break. I just think everybody loosely associated with either knowing Doug, knowing anything about his travails, and Memphis golf, really happy for him.
Absolutely.
To win.
Oh, well, you know how much he's persevered, over the last 7 years and struggling, trying to play. And,
everything, mind, body, soul, everything.
And the way he got hosed on by the PGA Tour.
It's awful.
That was a really bad situation. He
was made an example.
I'm so happy for him. And I've been hearing over the past year or so how well he's been playing out of Windike and some of the scores he's been shooting, thinking, that's good, but it's not anywhere. And then you get into big events and the British Senior and this tournament and shoot lights out and beat Couples and Montgomery and all the bullies. That's a great story.
I think if you could beat Freddie Couples on a Tuesday afternoon at Windermere would be nice, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, you beat Fred Couples. That's worth something.
Uh-huh.
That almost should count double.
Well, that's right. And then Colin Montgomery right behind him, triple it.
Yeah, and the legacy of Memphis golf, it continued even more. We have a great history, and it was added to by Doug Barron.
Absolutely. I'm what's Doug, 50? Just 50?
Just 50.
I mean, he's got.
Sure.
I mean, there's plenty of time for him to win some more tournaments.
Wheelhouse
and a bunch
years.
of money, and this is your confidence gets up, and you do it. You know you can do it. This is Really cool story.
I think he won 370, as we said, a little better weekend than we had.
Yeah.
Way to go, Doug.
That's a lot of golf lessons.
And I don't know that I have refreshed Champion Tour scores more than I did this weekend. Well, maybe a few weeks ago when he was at the Senior Open.
Yeah. And he said he played so well in the worst conditions over the British Open. He said he hit it the best when the weather was the worst. That's when you know your game is really solid, when you're howling wind and wet and clubs dripping and you pure it. That's when you got to – that surely gave him a lot of confidence going into yesterday.
And for so many people that kind of stereotype, I'm going to really practice in my 40s and go out on the Senior Tour. Good luck with that, because you got to make a lot of birdies there too.
Yeah, the Senior Tour is not a bunch of old men playing golf, I can tell you that. These guys a lot of them can still play the regular tour. There's some good players out there.
Had the U.S. Amateur at Pinehurst, and I was telling you, I know it puts me in a not popular place, and I'm not here to trash it whatsoever. I just don't drop and hit my knees and worship at the shrine of Pinehurst like so many, and especially since the redo, the stripping of it, the back to nature of it. I mean, it doesn't resemble the place that Payne Stewart won in '99, 20 years ago.
No.
I mean, it's almost back to seed.
It's hard to look at. The Open they had there a few years ago.
Marty Keimer ripped it up.
What? It was nothing like Pinehurst have been its whole career. I don't like it. I didn't watch any of it.
And I know from golf purists, and I think I am traditionalists, they will tell me about, Alistair McKenzie, and this is what he envisioned. My comeback to that is, okay, so are you telling me behind the third green before the fourth tee there's an outhouse there? Because that's what it was when he had it in the beginning.
Don't know. I don't understand a lot of things they do with golf courses and why they do them. Some of the Chambers Bay and places like that. You just don't. I don't know what gets behind that kind of stuff.
And a really good weekend for the two semifinalists from Mississippi, Cohen Trolio, whose dad's associated with Old Waverly. He lost in the semis 9 days after turning 17. Would have been the youngest finalist in U.S. amateur history. And I think even just being in the finals, not winning, that gets you in Augusta, doesn't it?
Yes.
And if you win, it would have guaranteed you 2 days of playing with Tiger Woods.
Yes.
Next April. So
that's right.
So the other young man, the Georgia Tech player from the state of Mississippi, I'd never heard of Little Rock, Mississippi. I thought they were listing it wrong. And I want to say somebody told me it's near Meridian. Did you know?
No. I don't know of one Little Rock.
I only
not
knew
down
one,
there.
and the one south of North Little Rock. Ted Butler, our guest, talking golf from the weekend, and Justin Thomas. He's had big Saturday rounds before. Remember just a few years ago, he had the 63 at the U.S. Open. Didn't follow it up with much on Sunday at the U.S. Open, but Saturday, I mean, a Mozart, wasn't it? A 61, and followed it up with enough yesterday to add 2 and win, and they blitzed Medina. They made it look like chip and putt.
Well, anybody that would have taken a wager on 24 under on that golf course, they'd have got it, even though it was, it was wet, and the greens were wet, and it wasn't near as severe, but that round of golf, he had some luck. He hit a few trees that bounced back in the fairway, and the 181-yard 8-iron that was, as my brother said, the luckiest shot in golf history. But it was a perfect golf shot. Perfect little draw, rolled 3 feet right in the middle of the hole.
Yeah.
That wasn't luck.
In the hole.
I mean, and I couldn't believe how many people were holing out chip shots from everywhere and chipping in from everywhere. It was...
But we see it now everywhere for them, and I understand that for the FedEx Cup playoffs, you don't want to go out and have a U.S. Open set up after the year they've been through. Why send them through the ringer? Why send them through the golfing belt line? Let the courses be favorable, and then you have the weather conditions make it even more favorable. But I'm afraid that group, that 69 players last weekend and that 30 this week, you could pick out any place, and unless you went cabbage, knee-high, U.S. Open setup, they can humble anything.
Well, that's what Thomas said. He goes, we're that good. You give us a fairway that's going to hold a tee shot, we can swing as hard as we can. It's not going to roll in the rough. You can fire right at the pins, and they're hitting 8 irons from 180. You know, a 4-iron back in my day. They just go pin hunting everywhere, and the greens were perfect, absolutely perfect. So they shoot the lights out. I like seeing birdies.
I like seeing
I didn't
birdies.
want to see them up knee-high rough. And,
Yeah. I don't mind that 1 week a year to really watch them sweat, and they really didn't sweat this year.
No. The only painful thing for me was watching Tiger when he got to 9 under Sunday. I thought, okay, 3 more birdies, he's 12 under. That may get you to next week, and then 3 sand traps. He does not get up and down. Doesn't get him down from the front of a par 5. He's 15 yards off the green, and poof, the end of the year. It was a little painful to watch, and you know, Dave's been talking about his spirit, and it looked a little down on the back nine. It
shrugged his shoulders.
I'm telling you,
he did.
I was a little when he screwed up the chip shot on the par 5, and the shoulders went down, and
the derisive laugh. He wasn't laughing.
That's the end of this year for sure, and hopefully he's back next year.
That's when the air finally went out. And I said earlier today, in between a T20 at La Jolla at Torrey Pines way back in February and a 37th place yesterday, in between it was Augusta and nothing else.
Right.
But good year.
Oh,
I think that year.
You know, it had to be. You know, resurrected golf again. The Tour Championship last year with the people going crazy, running up and down the place, and then Augusta. You know, that little golf period where he won twice. It reinvigorated golf from lots of people.
9 starts for him this year. If he's pretty well, if he's in pretty good shape next year, I don't think we see him more than about 13 or 14 times. Even that
in
many. Good shape. Yeah.
Even that many. You know, it's going to be hard to say. I don't know how good he felt this week. There was not, you know, looked like he was swinging okay, but I don't know what his real health situation is, and I guess we won't.
But you hit on the subject last week for the operation, for the enterprise, for business. Let's don't send him out there at 7:30.
No. Well, I was kind of yucking when he got to 9 under yesterday, and I thought he is going to make it. And I said, yeah, you know, good starting times in warm weather. See?
Mm-hmm. Get loose.
Yeah.
I think he as much said it, he needs a lot of prep time on game day.
Oh, I think every day, and on game day in particular, it's a 3-hour event for him to get ready with massaging and all those kind of things, exercise, stretching, then the warm-up. I mean, it's a lot of work to get ready to get to the first. Not like McIlroy when he had to jump out of the car at the Ryder Cup and run to the tee and hit it. It doesn't work that way.
In the Crown Victoria, that looked like a private investigator's car.
Yeah, I tell you, it was something.
But they did. They blitzed Medina, and the winner was Justin Thomas, his 10th win by 26. 1 major in there. You got to feel before it's done for him, 3 or 4 majors minimum.
I would think 3 or 4, yeah. If he can, you know, he's had a couple of injuries because, you know, that swing, you know, when they showed it, you know, when he was in the air at impact, when both feet are, it reminded me of Johnny Miller back in his prime. When
yeah.
I had a video of him one time hitting off the 18th tee at Riviera. We had a back angle, and I played it back over, and neither foot was on the ground with Miller's tee shot. Neither foot was touching the ground. I thought yesterday when they showed that one with his, you know, up on his tiptoes, that jumping off the ground there, and a lot of the young kids now are doing that. For the smaller kids in stature are being helped and taught to do that move. It's hard for a senior golfer or even a middle-aged golfer to do that, but it makes me wonder how long can your ankles and your knees and your hips take that kind of punishment.
Can't be good for you. It's hard enough to hit it keeping your feet on the ground. I don't want to try to hit it leaving the ground.
Well, right. You look at the longevity of Sam Snead and guys like that their feet were firmly on the ground, balanced, and this is jumping up in the air. Who knows where you're going to land? I mean, it's scary.
I'm sorry to say this, Ted. I know the history and the accomplishments of Dr. Kerry Middlecoff, but I don't know, even on any video that I've ever seen, a swing, maybe the dumbest question I've ever asked anybody, what was Kerry Middlecoff's swing like? Was it beautiful?
Well,
was it more Sam Snead?
It was not. I wouldn't call it beautiful because he was like 6'4" and he had short arms, and he had a pretty big knee dip. It was almost Byron Nelson type through impact. He had a real straight left arm at the top, had a big knee dip through impact.
I didn't realize he was that tall, Ted.
A big bowed left wrist. It was a little on the unorthodox side, but he really pured the ball, though. We played a couple of times at Chickasaw, and everybody knows how tight Chickasaw is. He didn't. I mean, it was just sprinklers all the way down around the golf course, and I think he's the most underrated player in the history of golf with 40 wins, 39 wins, and 3 majors.
Yeah, and the majors he won, and then probably the first great TV analyst for CBS with a lot of the Augusta National coverage. I didn't realize he was 6'4" because I've always said I thought the best tall player ever was George Archer. Well, I didn't realize Dr. Carey was 6'4".
Archer was 6'6".
Okay,
so he was, but that's why Carey had that big knee. He had short arms, and he had to get down. Later in his career, he had trouble hitting wedges, sand wedges and stuff.
Getting down to it.
Get down to it, and he had back problems and allergic to grass, and hard to make a living when you're allergic to grass on the golf course.
Yeah, because even in the short grass, it's still grass.
But I can tell you, I remember watching him hit golf balls to this day, and it was just like, wow.
A lot of pictures on social media, and a texter at 67129 at the First Bank text line wanted me to ask you about. Already started the construction project, the redo of number 3 at TPC Southwind. Have you seen any of the photos, and what do you think conceptually of that redo?
I haven't seen a thing. I like the redo idea. I'm not particularly wild about that hole, never have been, but I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. I haven't seen anything on that.
A lot of pictures out there about it. This week at East Lake, have you ever played East Lake?
No.
Home of Bobby Jones, 30 players. Justin Thomas gets to sleep for 4 days on a 2-stroke lead. Do you like the scoring idea?
Well, it's a little unusual.
I know why they do it.
Of course. Yeah. So we understand. Instead of Steve Sands out there with his eraser and his chalkboard and moving things around, like this guy just made a bogey over here. He just went from 33rd to 18th to 12th. To, this makes it, I guess, starting out with a 10-shot lead on those guys in 26th and 29th place is your reward for getting there. But the winner is going to be the winner. There won't be such going around. It's for the public.
It'll still be low man wins, kind of.
I wouldn't mind that little slice, that $15 million.
$15 million to the winner. $15 million. All right, here's one for you. You can win a major. You can be in contention on a Sunday next year for a major. I don't know how it's going to end up for you, though. But you're in contention, or you'll take the $15 million this week at East Lake. Which one do you take? In the mix for a major, or here's your $15 million?
I guess that's based on your lifestyle or what you've already got. But
your bills.
It'd be hard to
got any alimony?
turn down $15 million. I'll tell you.
But for those guys, they have to feel like, give me in the mix for the major, because that's immortality. That's the first sentence of the Hall of Fame, the obituary, the profile. I can make that money.
That's a great question. I mean, I'd like to hear some of the tour players' answers to that. If you're a jillionaire already, it had to be for the major. I mean, if you're one of those borderline guys that's still having to pay bills and stuff, then the $15 million might be kind of nice. The exemptions that goes with it.
Ted, next Monday we'll wrap up our golf visiting for the year. We'll catch back up with you around December for President's Cup conversation. It's happened again. Where in the heck did our summer go? That was quick. I mean, it was 5 minutes ago. You walked in with your Masters hat on, red top, black trousers, and your Tiger get up for that week, and you said Tiger Woods, and you were right that week.
Well, you can bet for all around here next April, that's going to be the same thing again. I still have the jacket, the hat, and the shirt.
Well, let's plan on being here, Ted. I don't want to go anywhere.
No, I don't either. I'm hate to look forward to something that far away, but I do. And I'm interested in this end of this year, this FedEx Cup thing. There's a bunch of really good players out there. They're coming from all over the world. Look at these guys every time you turn around.
And we saw it here with 14 players from different countries from around the world. Ted Butler, we'll do it again next Monday. Thank you so much.
See you next week.
You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Family Leisure is celebrating the end of summer with the appropriately titled End of Summer Liquidation Sale. You can get pools for as low as $19.99, patio furniture starting at $12.99, and swim spas, they begin at $99.99. Don't forget to ask about fast installation because there's still enough summer left to enjoy these deals during the End of Summer Liquidation Sale happening now at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
The forensic analyst searched for clues to the house fire.
Could that be
Starch? Suddenly it came together. The fire was started by
an over-microwaved potato?
Covered, July 25th, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Frontier Western Store's world-famous boot showroom is waiting for you. With aisles and aisles of boots in one easy spot, you will find your next favorite pair at Frontier. Everyone loves Ariat boots, and Frontier has over 1,000 pair in that brand alone. Come grab a pair of rugged work boots like the Work Hog, or discover an everyday classic in Ariat's Rambler. Tons of other brands as well: Rocky, Dan Post, Red Wing, Durango, Justin, Twisted X, and many more. Frontier constantly restocks and refreshes their lineup of boots, so you're certain to walk out of the store happy in your new comfortable footwear. They have a wide assortment of sizes available for men, women, and children. Work, dress, or play, Frontier's knowledgeable staff will cheerfully help you find the perfect fit. It's boots galore at Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road, Olive Branch, or on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated, you know it, since 1967.
Book a Caribbean vacation for your mouth at Curry and Jerk. So you are Arturo, and you came together with Ricardo to create Curry and Jerk for what?
To bring people together, to share our culture and letting people smile by eating the food that we're used to. We wanted to bring the combination of the West Indies culture to share right here in America with others.
And you don't have to go all the way to the Caribbean to have a taste of the Caribbean. You can have it right here in downtown Memphis.
That is absolutely correct.
Chef Ricardo, tell me a little bit about Sunday brunch.
Yeah, our Sunday brunch is like something different that you will get. It's like a mixture of the Caribbean mixed with the basic type of brunch people used to here in Memphis, but we just turn it up a notch with our Caribbean spices and flavor, and it is such a big difference.
At Curry and Jerk, located in the heart of downtown Memphis at 126 Monroe. Lunch daily from 11 to 2, dinner Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 10, Friday and Saturday 4 to 11.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Norsworthy.
Thank you, Drew Barrett. It has been fun visiting with Ted Butler all year, and it has gone by fast. One more week. The Golf Tour Championship wraps it up this week, but let's get to medals right now. I'll start with my bronze medal. It goes to Mike Mayock. Maybe should have been about a week ago that he laid this marker down for Antonio Brown. In or out for Antonio Brown, he'll get a gold if he sticks by it. I'm going to make the prediction. Antonio Brown, along with John Gruden, never makes the trip to Vegas next year. This isn't going to end well. You don't start like this and it ends well, does it?
No, you don't.
Do you?
No.
Very rare that it does. Silver medal goes to, just a silver medal, to Justin Thomas. Too good to go winless in 2019. 61 on Saturday, and it was the only reason I picked him last week.
How do you only get a silver medal if you finish first place? Finish first, that's a gold.
Because I've got better gold. Also a silver medal to Pete Alonso. Home run number 40, National League record for a rookie. 12 to go to tie and 13 to break Aaron Judge's rookie record set in 2017. You think he gets it?
No, I'm going to say no.
Pete Alonso sitting on 40 home runs. Gold goes to a lot of the Memphis connection. First to Doug Barron on winning on the Champions Tour at a course. I think John Daly won a PGA Tour event at Enjoy at Endicott, New York. Doug Barron wins a Champions Tour event, and I don't know what it does financially to Doug. It doesn't hurt, but I don't really think that's what he's been grinding to. Yeah, it goes with it. I think he's been trying to prove to many that he could play, and he could play with those guys. And his career was really cut short by injury on the regular tour, and I think some bad decisions by the PGA, so I'm really glad for him. Also for the Memphis Redbirds, they had a 4-game sweep of Iowa. They're 21-7 in their last 28. They need a miracle finish to go beak to beak to beak to win 3 straight years. They played really well since the All-Star break, and they do end the season against Iowa up there, and the I-Cubs leaking oil. I mean, they're just trying to limp to the finish. And Dylan Carlson's worth going to see if you're a Cardinal fan. I don't know that he'll be here next year. He might be in St. Louis with the parent club. He hit a home run yesterday. I was not there yesterday, but if you go to games at AutoZone Park, you know center field is where the pop-ups go to die, and he cranked one out of there to dead center yesterday. Goal goes to the Tigers in the Bahamas. They win by 31, 75, 10, and 34-0, and it only stokes a much-anticipated season coming up. My rust,
I'm close to the button.
I almost want to use the real name for Aaron Blanking Boone that the Red Sox fan call him. Not because of the job he's done as Yankees manager. He's done a great job. They've been injured all year, and he's guided the ship pretty well. But after suggesting earlier this year that extra innings should be decided with the runner on second base, you should start extra innings, the 10th inning with the runner on second base. He doubled down on stupidity with now saying at the major league level, we need a mercy rule. I don't know how to respond to that. I really don't. The manager of the Yankees has suggested playing church league softball. It blows my mind, and it just can't be that stupid, can you? To be in the show and want to have a mercy rule. When we come back, hour 2 begins. We visit with David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
At Sunrise on Jefferson, there are meals for every appetite, and sometimes you really have an appetite. That's when the plates come in. If you really want to fuel up, have the kitchen sink. 2 eggs prepared any way you like. Sausage, bacon, hash browns, biscuit, and Hannah Farm grits. Now that's a meal. Sunrise also has the best omelet. Look at the menu, it says it right there. The best omelet, and it's true. Spinach, artichoke, tomato, goat cheese, and salsa verde. If you're ready to fill up on breakfast, you're ready for sunrise.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. As most of you know, I don't have a history of bragging or boasting that Five-Ash Roofing is the best roofer in the Memphis area, but did you know we are the only diamond-level roofing professional in the area? We are one of very few local roofing companies that have been in business for 20 years. We've never had a justified claim against us. We are locally owned and family operated. Our labor warranties are for the life of the shingles. We're experts in insurance claim. We do residential and commercial work. We are the official roofer of the University of Memphis Athletic Department and a proud member of the Tigers home team. We support local youth sports and St. Jude's. We have worked with churches and veteran services to help those in need by providing services at a deep discount or even for free. We are currently working with Young Life to give them a free roof on the historic log cabin in Germantown. Five-Ash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hey, everybody. Want to save some money on a brand new Chevy and get a full belly and for a good cause? Well, come out to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch Thursday, August 22nd from 11 to 1 to honor all first responders. They're going to have a big fish fry and a whole lot more with food, beverages, door prizes, and an ice cream truck. So if you're a first responder or appreciate our first responders, come out to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch on the 22nd and have lunch on us. And while you're out there, test drive as many new Chevys as you want, like the new 2020 Silverado. It's here, and the 2020 Chevy Blazer. And also ask about the 2020 Corvette. And not just that, the All-Star Chevy Challenge is just one more reason to head to Olive Branch for that all-new Chevy. Just take them any real written offer from any Mid-South Chevy dealer, and they'll beat it. So find new roads to Olive Branch, and don't miss lunch on us at All-Star Chevy on August 22nd. Remember, it's Olive Branch, not South Haven, people. All-Star Chevrolet on Goodman Road, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Your Memphis Tigers football team opens the 2019 season against regional rival Ole Miss Saturday, August 31st. And tickets are on sale now, starting at $55 each. Get your tickets today by visiting GoTigersGo.com or by calling 901-678-2331. Or Tiger fans can still grab a 3-game package or a season ticket. College football is finally back. Memphis versus Ole Miss, Saturday, August 31st at 11 a.m. at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium. Sponsored by FedEx and ABC Local 24.
Maybe it's time that you get your hands and feet dirty. Holy is not about being clean. It's about proximity. It's about being in the right place at the right time so that the love of God can shine through. Jesus loved to get his feet and his hands dirty. One example after another shows us getting down in the dirt where he was making a difference in a person's life. The lesson that we learn from Jesus should mean more to us than any other. We have to respond to the needs of our brothers and sisters as though it was our own body in trouble. How does helping our brother and sister in need draw us closer to God? Jesus is clear, like in Mark 1, where the leper says, "If you're willing, you can make me well." And Jesus says, "Of course I'm willing." That's the story of a dirty, down in the dirt, oftentimes imperfect-looking grace that still changes and saves the world. I'm Shane Stanford from Christ Church, Memphis. Remember, you matter.
Visit ChristchurchMemphis.org.
Introducing Top Tracer Range, the new ball tracking and gaming system at Golf and Games Family Park. Top Tracer gathers data such as distance, carry, ball speed, and more. Compete against friends in a points game, long drive, and virtual golf at courses such as Pebble Beach and St. Andrews. Golf and Games Family Park is a great setting for group and company outings, golf lessons, or individual practice. Experience fun, friends, family, and introducing Top Tracer Range, the new ball tracking and gaming system at Golf and Games Family Park, 5484 Summer Avenue.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Ocean and Brad Norsworthy.
strapped against my back.
Thank you, Drew. Dave will be back tomorrow. We talk with David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal, but you can message us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, and you can text us at 67129 at the First Bank text line, or give us a call at 360-8255 at the First Bank phone line. We'd love to hear from you. The release of the Grizzlies schedule last week, we talked extensively about it last week with David Cobb. Next week, David's going to be away, much-deserved vacation, as a lot of the NBA. This is about the only downtime now until really you start the grind, that grind that will start with camp and go all the way through, for somebody, the NBA Finals. Good afternoon, David Cobb.
Good afternoon. Yeah, that's right. I'll be this time next week. Guys, I'm going to be on a cruise ship with no Wi-Fi, which I'm really excited about. A lot of free food and maybe some sun, maybe a cold drink. We'll see. We'll just see what happens.
What an excuse not to join us next week. I don't believe you. I really think you'll be sitting like at a Days Inn at the Jackson, Tennessee exit.
Yeah, right. No, well, you just send me a satellite phone or something, and I'll hop on.
No.
Maybe I can write you a letter, and you guys can read the letter on air.
I don't think the missus would want that. Can you, David? Can you get away? Can you turn everything off? Can you unplug?
Yeah, because Carnival charges you for a Wi-Fi package, and I'm not going to pay for it. So yeah, I'm going to unplug. I might come back, guys, and who knows? The Grizzlies may have done something drastic, and there'll just have to be somebody else at the paper who takes care of that.
Have you ever been on a cruise?
Yeah, I went on one. We actually went on one for our honeymoon like 2 years ago. So this is our second cruise. I'm excited. We're going down to Montego Bay and Cozumel, and we're leaving out of New Orleans as well. And part of what I'm excited about on the trip was we're going to that World War II museum that I've heard just awesome things about there in New Orleans. And so I'm as excited about that as I am about anything else.
Yeah, I've never been on a cruise. So you like them?
Oh yeah, I'm prone to motion sickness, so this is something that is not necessarily like that. I wasn't necessarily just all in on, before we went the last time, but as long as you bring motion sickness medicine, the ship is so big that you don't really feel, the ebbs and flows of the ocean so much, and I've never had any problem.
David, I'm not kidding you. I can be thinking about being on that boat and almost get motion sick.
Really?
Oh yeah. Now, There's no way I could, and I don't want to be stuck with that many people I don't know for that long.
Yeah, I get that, yeah. So this time we're doing like a smaller stateroom, and so it's going to be a little bit claustrophobic, but, the good thing is that there's so many different restaurants, and, there's 3 pools on this boat, so you can kind of find your spot. And so what I'm going to do, I got some books, that I'm just going to read, and just kind of something I don't really get to do a whole lot of during the season is just kind of kick back and read a book. Cover to cover in like a relatively short time. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Will you take anything Grizzlies season related, just a little homework, a little primer on anything?
Yeah, so I ordered Andre Iguodala's book a couple weeks ago, and I was going to read that on the cruise. But then I got so anxious to get through it just to see if there was anything in there that gave a hint about like what he wants, out of this stage in his career. But I was like, you know what? I just got to go ahead and read this because there might be some morsel of insight in here that, I need to share with readers or something. So there actually wasn't, but I flipped through that one. So that was going to be like my minorly work related reading material on the cruise ship. But I've since replaced that one since I finished it with the book from the former coach at Independence Community College in Kansas, who was featured on that Last Chance U show, Jason Brown. He's like a real character. So it won't be NBA related, but I'm not getting away from sports entirely.
David, Andre Iguodala, he could be a big piece of the Grizzlies puzzle, and it has nothing to do with him on the floor next year. One of these sweet days, 20, 22, 23, maybe even beyond run, it'll be somebody doing a big story of potentially this guy or these guys, they were because of Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, he would be a tremendous influence on John Morant. They don't play the same position, obviously, but Andre Iguodala, just reading and learning about his background, it's pretty impressive. And he talks a lot about the guys who helped him and mentored him and kind of brought him up in the league and who he relied on and who he still holds in such high regard. And he could be that for the Grizzlies because they don't necessarily have that. I mean, obviously Jay Crowder's been around the block a few times, and Jonas Valanciunas is not a young player anymore, and Tyus Jones has been in the league for 4 years, but nobody on this roster has the track record that Andre Iguodala has. That's for darn sure. So he could be big in that role, and I just don't know how you quantify that, and I just don't know what level, how important that is to the front office because they've already shipped off Kyle Korver and C.J. Miles, who were both kind of in that same mold, and so they, to this point, have kind of deprioritized that. But yeah, Iguodala would be huge in that regard, but he would also take up a roster spot that could be used by a younger player.
See, I was thinking more in turning into real fungible, real assets, and not just locker room influence. Because yes, it does feel like it is abated for right now. But come NBA All-Star or NBA All-Star game and trade deadline next February, he could be a big piece that somebody could really do something foolish and overpay for.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially with the West going to be as competitive as it is, I think teams will be, scratching the bottom of the barrel to get any advantage they can. Because I just don't feel like by the trade deadline next season that there's to be any team that has distanced themselves from the field. And I still think there will be 8, 9, maybe even 10 teams in the West that still feel like they're one piece away or that one chip away from, having a roster that they feel like can really compete for a title. And so, yeah, his value could really increase. It's just the cost of carrying him into the season is, like I mentioned, that younger player you might be able to put in a spot. So they'll have to just kind of weigh that and measure that and see what that's worth. Because if they get some indications that we can't afford Andre now or the roster situation doesn't work now, but let's talk at the trade deadline. If they get enough of those kind of calls on the line, they could certainly be tempted to keep him and carry him towards the deadline.
I'm not even talking about a big wager. I'm not even going a lunch wager. Just maybe a drink of your choice. If you had to bet he will go out to the line on opening night in player introductions as a Memphis Grizzly, you would bet yes or no on Andre Iguodala opening night with the Grizzlies.
I'm going to vote no, and that's because I think that even if he is on the 15-man roster, I'm still not convinced that he will be an active participant. I think he wants to continue his career, and I think that the best way to do that would be to play and be a part of the rotation, be a part of the team. But, the Grizzlies would have to be cool with that and want that, and he would have to want that too, even though it would probably be in his best interest. So I'm going to go no for that reason, because even if he is on the team, I'm not entirely sold that he'll be, there, for the national anthem with them on opening night.
He's David Cobby's on Twitter at David W. Cobby's with the Commercial Appeal beat writer for the hometown paper about the hometown major league team, the Memphis Grizzlies. We know one that won't go out to the line on opening night. And now being shopped around and talking to other teams, Dwight Howard, it would be like he was really never even a member of the team, won't it?
Oh, yeah. It's interesting. At Summer League, he was there and the trade had gone through, but he was in no way affiliating himself with the Grizzlies, and in no way has he affiliated himself with the Grizzlies since, and in no way have the Grizzlies openly really acknowledged his presence on their roster at the moment. So the chances, I think, of him, of Dwight Howard being on the team are next to none, especially now. I mean, the Lakers, that makes a lot of sense, for them with what's happened to Boogie. And, of course, Joakim Noah is another name who they could potentially go after to fill a hole in their front court. But there's just a lot that comes with Dwight Howard that I think makes him unappealing to a Grizzlies team that's in the situation that it's in right now.
I was always big on Boogie Cousins, loved him, thought he would be mega superstar, and I think without the injuries he would have been. He was
really
very sad. He was very close to it even with the injuries. It cost him $150, $200 million.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if he were Yeah. I mean, because he had a 1-year deal last year. That would have been a massive mega deal had he been healthy. And the whole point was, all right, just take this 1-year deal and just show everybody that you can still play. And then, he comes back, and then I forget what the parameters of the deal were that he signed with L.A., but, yeah, I mean, fortunately he'll still get paid for whatever that deal was. But, I mean, he's now at a point where, I mean, if he can come back, it would be an absolutely tremendous story. But, man, an ACL or an Achilles followed by an ACL.
A lot to come back from.
That's a lot to come back from.
Yeah, at some point, I mean, it's just so much tread on the tire. And at some point, just, how many more days do I want to dedicate to rehab, to working with that strength and conditioning guy? I'd have to do this all again. I'm sure he's set, but what he could have made versus what he lost because of injury.
And for his sake, you wish the Warriors had won the title, because that might have been his last chance. And I know some people don't love the guy, but for a guy of his caliber to have to deal with the blows that he's had to deal with, it would at least be nice for him to get a ring before he has to hang it up because of everything that's happened to him.
So we're making progress at ESPN.com. I've been tracking it since J.B. Bickerstaff on April 11th relieved of his duties. So now you go to their Grizzlies site at ESPN.com, and for Memphis Grizzlies roster, it has no data available. Take that for data. But it still has Coach J.B. Bickerstaff up there.
No kidding. That's insane. Do they have a Marko Guduric on the roster?
No data available for roster.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
So they scrub the whole roster, but still have JB up there, and it's the only out of 30 teams. It's the only era in head coaches.
Talking about ESPN, did you think it was odd that when the schedule came out last week, that the Grizzlies still only had 2 national TV games when the Pelicans have 20?
Well, that's Zion mania, and I think after this year with Ja Morant, they will change that. Yeah, and I didn't like how the release was done around Dr. Martin Luther King Day festivities. All right, and I'm not looking for something to be irritated, but they mentioned some of the national games in an NBA release and kind of left out the Grizzlies. And I think somebody with the team, I think Jason Wexler said, "Hey, you're forgetting one."
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding, because that's the first time that the number 1 and number 2 overall pick will be playing against each other. And the Pelicans might actually be decent. I mean, they might be pretty good. And that's a game that, because of where it's played, should have, the utmost significance of any game that's going to be played on that day.
Shouldn't it?
From the NBA perspective. If the NBA is going to tout or promote the games that are played on that day, I mean, Memphis should be at the top of the list no matter who they're playing. And the fact that they're playing Zion for the first time, number 1 versus number 2 from the draft, I mean, I don't know how it gets much bigger than that. I don't have the list of the games memorized, but that's something I won't fault anybody if they want to be a little irritated about that one.
I won't fault them either. I don't know if you saw it or not, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly with the Daily News in New York. Stefan Bondi, do you know?
Yeah, I'm familiar with him. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you how to pronounce it, but I know who you're talking about.
Wrote a big story on really what ended up being not a con man, but just certainly not everything he presented himself as being when he rolled in as Russian oligarch, billionaire, big-time guy Mikhail Prokhorov. And you read through that story, and it takes him apart. Is basically is a big gas bag and kind of gilding the lily on a lot of things, both on his worth and kind of his jet setting lifestyle. And
oh boy,
yeah,
I see where you're going.
Well, I go through that and I'm thinking, every town is just kind of enamored with kind of the newest thing that comes to town, the newest, whatever. And we sure are with ownership. And I don't think Robert Parra has tried to be something that he's not, because I think his biggest mistake he's made here is he's not tried to be anything.
Yeah, no, you're right. I've been talking to some people about Robert, and yeah, that's.
Is that where you thought I was going?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, there are some comparisons there to be made. I don't know the specifics of the Prokhorov. I haven't read that story, but I will. But with Parra, all he's got to do is is open up to be embraced by the city. Memphis will embrace you if you embrace Memphis. That's pretty much been proven time and time again.
Easy.
It doesn't take a lot. I mean, all it takes is for the guy to have some presence. And, I think that, it wouldn't, like I said, it wouldn't take much. The Grizzlies do a lot in this community. They do a lot for this community. And all it would take is for Robert to come in and just be a little bit a part of that. And he would build up some goodwill that would go a long way.
Yeah, and now Prokhorov sells out to the Joseph Tsai group, and the Nets are poised to really be good. And he made his money on the flip, as a lot of them usually do. It would not shock me. I'm not calling for it, but it wouldn't shock me on almost any day we hear of Robert Parra's total re-engagement with the Grizzlies or total disinterest with the Grizzlies. It seems like he could kind of go, very engaged or to heck with it.
Yeah. Well, the thing I'll say about the ownership situation right now is that I think we have turned over a new chapter there. And now how much of a new chapter, how different things end up being, I don't know, but it's a fresh start, I think, for Robert as well, because I think for the first time it feels like he's finally got things organized in the way that he wants. And so, we don't need to rehash the entire history, but there's the Joe Abadi situation, the coaches that he's run through, sort of the re-elevating of Chris Wallace, all these things that have happened, and it's never really felt like he's had it set the way that he wants. And who knows, maybe in 8 months from now, after the first season of this new regime, he'll keep the revolving door revolving and we'll be back to square one. But I think it feels like now that he knows Jason Wexler really well and trusts Jason Wexler. And I think that Jason Wexler is uniquely empowered because of his background here in the community and the trust that he has in the community.
I agree.
And the relationship that he has with Robert Parra to maybe make a new chapter here to where maybe even if Parra is not going to be as visible, the organization itself will feel a little more homey because of the fact that Jason, though not born here, is very much a Memphian. And the fact that, though Zach Kleiman was not born here, he's very much been brought up through this organization and earned his way to the position he has now. So I think those things make this a little different. I think their relationship with Robert and their relationship with the city, the fact that they have both of those things, makes this somewhat of a new chapter, for the leadership group of the franchise.
And I think most of us and most everybody around town very willing, very compliant to do that, kind of about a 6 different chance at a first impression just by the Robert Parra ownership group. And I mean that seriously, David. Okay, I'll do that again after vowing, and I'm still going to do this to not just let some things go. But I think everybody's ready to start again. All right, so we give them another blank check. We give them another blank check. What's the date on this blank check? For how long?
It's about 2 years and 8 months from now. so the end of the season in 2022. So the end of the 21-22 season. I mean, that's 3 years into this thing. And if by the end of the third year this team is back in the playoffs and really making some noise and really going the right direction, and it looks like they've hit on a lot of their acquisitions, and Taylor Jenkins is still the coach, and they're having to give him a big raise to keep it from going to some sort of a bigger market team, then that's a great success. And so that's kind of the timeline for me. Maybe I'm sort of borrowing a college football timeline there. Maybe the NBA people don't have as much patience as to really see that through. But I think given where this franchise is, given how young it is, and given how new everything it is, I think 3 years is kind of the time where we'll have a verdict on this new era that we're entering.
All right, I'm good for that. I'll do that. I'll play the patient game. I'll play the long game again, and I'm with you on your timeline. But there are a lot of bills that'll be coming due at that time. That blank check will be coming due. The new coach will be coming due, and Jaren Jackson will be about up at that time with us.
Yeah, no kidding. The thing is that they're not going to be real great the next couple of years. They've got to hope that they're entertaining, that they're engaging, and that they can fill the arena off of those characteristics. And so I think this year will set up nicely for them with the front-loaded home schedule and the newness of the players and some of the elite teams that are coming through early. I think they'll probably really for the Grizzlies and for the quality of team, they'll have some really good attendance early on this year. Can they sustain that if they're not good next year? I don't know. That could feel a little bleak if in year 2 there are some doldrums there in the middle of that season. I mean, that's a period of time where you could really, I think, start to see some doubt creep in. But I think for now, that's kind of off in the distance. I think there's a lot to be excited about. And then, of course, like I said, I think year 3 will be the show it year where that that blank check is kind of needs to be written with something substantial.
Yeah, it's got to be with some wins on that stub line for
winning cures everything. And
it
if
usually
they can
does.
Get to that point, it will.
David, at this time of year, I know you love the job you're in now and back home covering the Grizzlies.
I know where you're going with this, yeah.
This time of year, does football practice and covering football, do you miss it?
Not the being outside part so much and just sweltering in the heat to watch some guys run through, some tackling drills or whatever. But I will say the one thing about that cruise is I have looked stats, and there is a sports bar on the cruise that has live sporting events. So even though I won't have my phone, you better believe that's where I'll be parked next Saturday, which is our last day, I think, on the boat. So, yeah, I miss it, but it's fun. And I know you get this more so than just about anybody, but because it'll be fun for me to finally be a fan and not have to spend my entire college football Saturday behind the keyboard or working or driving or whatever it is.
Or chasing down rumors.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be nice to park in front of the TV with my friends and just have a normal college football Saturday, and maybe even get up to Knoxville or down to Oxford or over to the Liberty Bowl a time or two just to be a normal spectator.
I hope you can, and I hope you have fun on your trip, and we will talk in 2 weeks. Y'all be safe and enjoy.
Thanks, Seth.
You got it. David Cobb with the Commercial Appeal on all things Memphis Grizzlies. This Thursday, Greg and Eli will be down at All-Star Chevrolet from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. doing their entire show there, and lunch will be served at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch on Thursday from 11 to 1. So get down there and listen and meet and see Greg and Eli doing their show at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, and they will be honoring at All-Star Chevrolet all first responders, a big fish fry and so much more, lots of food, beverages, door prizes, and an ice cream truck at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, not South Haven, but in Olive Branch. If you're a first responder, please come to All-Star Chevrolet, and lunch will be on the good folks at All-Star. They appreciate the first responders. Come have lunch with some of the Mid-South finest. Test drive as many new Chevys as you want. The new 2020 Silverado, it'll be there. The 2020 Chevy Blazer, and ask about the all-new 2020 Corvette. The All-Star Chevy Challenge is just one more reason to head to Olive Branch for that new Chevy. Just take them a real written offer from any Mid-South Chevy dealer, and they will beat it. Find new roads to Olive Branch, and don't miss lunch at All-Star Chevy on August 22nd. Don't miss Greg and Eli down there. It's Olive Branch, not South Haven. All-Star Chevy on Kraft Goodman Road, or go to allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, we will talk college football. We'll do it with our defensive coordinator, our friend John Thompson. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
If you're the owner of a company and you're tired of a dirty office building, or maybe you're tired of dirty restrooms, or floors and carpets that are filthy, or windows that you can't even see through, I've got a solution. Let Trinity be your cleaning solution. Trinity Professional Services. They're putting professionalism back in cleaning. They specialize in stripping and waxing and buffing floors, in cleaning carpet. Just make it seem like it's spring outside. Window cleaning where you see through and everything shines. Commercial janitorial services specializing in final construction cleaning. Hey, the people that own this company, they are big construction people. They know what needs to be done. So if you would like it done the right way, call Todd Pope or Tommy Ferrari, the former Tiger quarterback, at 833-6773. 833-6773. It's Trinity. They're your cleaning solution.
Hi, friends. Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Jewelers. One of the things that we are proudest of at Russell Brothers is the service we offer above and beyond just selling beautiful jewelry. We know that fine jewelry and superbly made timepieces require expert craftsmanship to keep them in the best condition possible. We know that a simple thing like a watch battery becomes a very urgent need when your watch stops running. And that $7 battery becomes just as important as a wonderful gift of jewelry for a loved one. Taking care of our customers' jewelry and watch repair needs is a priority for us at Russell Brothers, and we pride ourselves on the quality of the work we do. For almost 35 years, our valued customers have trusted us to design, to make, to appraise, and to maintain their treasured jewelry and keep it in mint condition. At Russell Brothers, selling fine jewelry is just the very beginning of what we do. Come see us and let us be your full-service jeweler. Russell Brothers Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving, built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
You don't have to go all the way to the Caribbean to have a taste of the Caribbean. You can have it right here in downtown Memphis. Curry and jerk, coconut shrimp. Chef Ricardo, give the people a little bit of a description of what those coconut shrimp are like.
Well, one of the main ingredients, we got sweet shredded coconut in it, so you just gotta hop on down, come to 126 Monroe Avenue. We make it fresh every day.
Man, and then you have festival breads that are also made in-house.
You got a lot of different type of festival bread like recipe, but the one that we got at Curry and Jerk is different from anywhere else you would go.
Tell me why rice and peas are so good.
Well, our rice and peas got the original flavor and the original taste of like the real Jamaican rice and beans, so you're not getting any knockoff, you're getting the real stuff.
If you want authentic Caribbean cuisine, think only one place, Curry and Jerk, located in the heart of downtown Memphis at 126 Monroe.
Looking for a great place to deposit your money? Try First Bank. Competitive CD rates, a money market that moves with Wall Street prime and interest-bearing checking account options. Not to mention their friendly bankers who make decisions locally. To find out more, stop by one of First Bank's 3 local branches, 6482 Poplar Avenue just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or visit firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC.
Hey Tiger fans, this is John Stacy of the Blue and Gray Show. You can hear Drew Barrett and I talk Tigers with Tigers every Sunday at 5 right here on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Drew, who do we got in the studio with us this week?
This week it's a U of M QB special with Lloyd Patterson and Danny Spartman in studio with John. We'll also have Danny Wimprine and Tony Scarpino on the phone. This is one you won't want to miss.
Thanks, Drew. We'll be here Sunday on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. The Blue and Gray Show, where we talk Tigers with Tigers.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Thank you, Drew. That the blue and gray ad sounds really good, Drew, for you and John Stacy coming up this Sunday night. And I love the quarterback lineup. And maybe of all the nicknames that Jack Eaton assigned during the 60s, 70s, and 80s calling Tiger games, from Dead-Eye Dexter Reed to Little General and Andre Turner, maybe the best one was Lucky Lloyd Patterson. And if you'll remember at SEC Media Days when I had Charlie Trotman talking Auburn with us, and he was talking about coming up here in 76, and he said, man, they had that real good quarterback. I said, Lloyd Patterson, yeah. He said that, and he did. And that night the Tigers won, I think, 28-27, and Lloyd Patterson put on freak show. And today, in all this run-pass option stuff, mean, I would say Lloyd Patterson probably 62 or 63. Yeah, he could play today. He could play today. That'll be fun Sunday night to hear those guys. We talk college football at this time every week with John Thompson, longtime defensive coordinator in college football. And John, through the years, and I've told you this off there, through the years, we were so proud of you in Far City, watching your rise up through the coaching ranks. I know it was a lot of moves. I know it was a lot of work. But, I mean, when you think about in your home state, you got to coach at Arkansas and at Arkansas State. You got to coach kind of in a home away from home in Memphis for the Tigers. In the state of Mississippi, you got 2 out of 3. Heck, State could have made it a 3 for 3 for you.
Well, I was blessed. I had a lot of fun, got to be at a lot of good places. Way too much moving around, but, there was not one stop that was not enjoyable. I mean, and especially being back home, all the places that were close and around. That was a lot of fun, but made a lot of friends, a lot of great memories, and now it's time. We're in week 0. What the heck does that mean?
Yeah, it's kind of the TSSAA with the week 0 lingo. 2 games this Saturday. So take us into the mindset for people 1 week out for the traditional week 1. You're at the end of practice. I mean, not any 2-a-days like we used to have, but you're at the end of practice. You're at the end, and you're also at the beginning of school. That assimilation, for some guys that been there since Memorial Weekend, but real life really will hit with that 8:30 Monday class, won't it?
Absolutely. You hope they're in class.
Yeah.
And not taking that time off. But, it's a unique week when you do start classes. You start to get your legs back under you. Camp is over. The players get distracted. You've got to regain their attention because during camp you got it all the time. I mean, you're eating, you're sleeping, you're meeting or practicing. That's all it should be. Coaches are more in that time. They're getting ready for the season, not the next opponent. Like once classes start, or you get in week 0 or week 1, whatever we call it, then you start getting ready for your first opponent. But here's one thing, and you and I talked earlier that we may talk about this. One thing that I think people don't get, and I tell you what, I had to be a head coach before it hit me right between the eyes. Camp can fool you.
Mm-hmm.
You go through all of spring, and you see your guys all summer. You see your guys during camp, or it used to be 28 practices. I think it's cut to 22 or whatever, and that's all you see. You don't know what kind of team you have until you throw them out there against the competition, real competition. And so you're not really sure how good you are, whether you got transfers, whether you got freshmen, even you got a 19-year-old that's turned to a 20-year-old. There can be a big difference in that. And so there's a lot of anxiety dealing with coaches in this, and players are jacked up. But I think coaches, they have really no idea what a new team is going to look like until they see them on Saturday.
And you've been on every side of this. You've been on maybe the smaller budget, smaller team playing the bigger team. You've been with the bigger team playing against somebody that they should beat on opening day. What's the one that would make you the most nervous heading into opening day about the team that you had?
Well, I can just reflect on, as I said, I learned so much when I was at East Carolina, and we opened up with a common opponent with Cincinnati, and we go there, and you had all of these plans, every detail, all the installs, everything, that of all the places you talked about I'd been, I thought I'd taken the best from each, and you lay out all of this. Well, we go to Cincinnati, and Rick Minter's team just crushes us. And we were not a tough team. We were soft. We didn't have a defense that I thought we could play with, and it was a shocking revelation to me. I can remember sitting on that bus after it saying, "Oh my goodness!" And we were turning around and going to play West Virginia that was on a Saturday. Or Monday. We were going to play West Virginia, and Rich Rod and the boys, when they were good, coming up again that next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 5 days to get ready.
That's quick.
And it was real quick, And then the game we talked about, I think last week, we didn't know how good we could be at Memphis in 1999. We knew we had some talent, but it had been just an okay defense before. And we go out and we play lights out, and really that set the tone for all year long. When we played Ole Miss, we played them to a standstill, 3-0, as we talked about. But then that just gave us such a shot in the arm, and we played with confidence all year long after that game. Ironically, against East Carolina, or with East Carolina, we never regained our confidence from getting our butt kicked at Cincinnati.
Yeah, and you came back as a member of Ed Orgeron's staff in 2007 and got out to a quick lead, mostly from your defense. I think you had a 99-yard pick six that day, and then but had to barely hang on to win at the buzzer. I think we're going to have I think we're going to have a close game on August 31st. I know the Tigers installed as a 6-point favorite, and they're favored in every game. But in this latest contract in this of 3 games, 2 Ole Miss wins, 1 by 20, 1 by 21, a Tiger win by 13. But all 3 of those, you kind of knew at the 8-minute mark in the fourth quarter, the only thing in doubt was the margin of the final score. You knew it was going to win. I think we have a classic this time, and neither 07 or 99 were classics, but they were close.
No, I think you're exactly right there. There's so many things that are new for Ole Miss that you just don't know. The things we talked about, when you get in the crush of the game, how Rich Rod's going to act as an offensive coordinator, how he's going to call the plays. I was doing the same thing for Ed Orgeron that first game at Ole Miss. Mike McIntyre, he's got a rough deal over there. He's got it a little bit tougher, in my opinion, than Rich Rod does. There's no stars left on that team. And the one thing that I think could show up, and especially show up early, is the sanctions and penalties that the NCAA are still going to be taking effect going on in after 2 years. This is where the recruiting really starts to show up. You haven't had those guys. They're not developed. I think Ole Miss could really feel that. They lose all the stars, Brown and Metcalf and the quarterbacks they had. All of that. I think all of that's going to be a big deal. And I think with Mike Norvell, has been there a few years, got an established quarterback, receivers. I don't know. I'm not touting one or the other, but the unknown, as you talked about earlier, coming out of camp is so much heavier on the Rebels than it is on Memphis, and that's got to be to Memphis's advantage.
You mentioned those 2 new coordinators, Ole Miss, both former head coaches, and a third former head coach in Jack Bicknell. I like, after you had been a head coach at East Carolina and you go back to being a coordinator, I thought you brought a lot of seasoning and a lot of experience to various coaches, and I think maybe your finest work after being a head coach was at Arkansas State University, where you were thrust into being the bowl coach quite often.
Well, you know what? Until you sit in that seat as the head coach, you don't realize that you got everybody's problems. You got the equipment managers. If he's got an issue with the washing machine, or he's got an issue with a child, if you've got a player, if it's a parent, a booster, everything comes to your desk, and you've got to manage all of those things. I used to think that I'd go see Jeff Bauer, and it was just about the defense, and Jeff would make me feel like it was just about the defense, and he was great at that. But now every assistant needs to be a head coach for a little while, and they'll be a much, much better assistant. I don't know if I was still any good, but I know I was better and understanding that and making and I knew that I didn't know everything then. Probably earlier in my career, before I was head coach, I might have thought I knew it all, and I had no clue.
And I think Ed Orgeron is a lot better now than he was, in 2005, 6, and 7 at Ole Miss. I see real growth in seasoning in Ed Orgeron. And a very smart thing he's doing is letting his coordinators coach.
Yeah, no question about it. Good deal hiring Bill Johnson, one of our guys that I coached with at Northwest Louisiana and Arkansas, and been real close to getting him in, for Dennis Johnson. Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, and I did a little bit of that at East Carolina, just like they did at Ole Miss. He tried to coach everything like the D-line, and he's admitted that. And it's not, you can't have that mentality. You got, if you're going to hire guys, and they weren't paying me $1 million, but if they're paying guys $1 million, they paid me a lot though. But you got to let them coach. Mm-hmm. You got to let them do what they can do best. And I think Ed is definitely doing that. And all head coaches, I can remember Mac Brown was still at North Carolina at the time, and hey, I called him. We were going through a one-win season there at East Carolina, and just talking with him because he had been through an awful lot. And one of the things that he said to me was, hey, you do what you're good at and then delegate the rest of it and make sure they're better than you. And that, that stuck with me, till now. But it's not an easy job. It's not an easy job to keep all of those things, with the million of things that a head coach has got to do instead of, if you're just an assistant coach, you have a very small area that you're responsible for in relation to the head coach.
All right, second week with us. You're going to be with us through the national championship game. So we let you slide last week with no tough kind of thorny issues, but I'm going to bring you into one. And I'm And I'm going to tell you before I drag you into it, I somehow managed to make everybody on both sides mad at me with this issue, but I am for Arkansas and Arkansas State playing on Labor Day weekend. So that kind of irritates a lot of our Razorback friends. Now I do the unthinkable and make all our ASU fans mad at me when I say the game should be in Fayetteville.
Well, I don't care about right now. I'm going to let you take the Fayetteville side, and I'll let you take the Labor Day weekend. But I think Arkansas State and Arkansas should play. I've been on both ends of that. I've been at Southern Miss and at Ole Miss.
You have,
and I think they should play. I think they should too. Mm-hmm. It's best for football. It's best for Mississippi. I've been at Arkansas State and I've been in Arkansas. I think I understand both sides to a degree of that mentality. It would be good for football. It would be good for the state of Arkansas. It's not 1965 any longer. And I do understand it back then. There's not a coach or an administrator or a guy that I look up to or respect more than Frank Broyles. I love Frank Broyles, what he stood for, what he did. That was then. This is now. It would be good for football, good for the state. And I'm sure I'm going to make a lot of people mad, but you know what? That's what's bad about it.
And the sun will come up one way or the other the next day. I promise you it will.
Well, it's and I welcome that. I've seen it. I understand. I've lived in Jonesboro, lived in Fayetteville, played them both, and so I just think it's a good thing.
Now, Johnny, I did think I wanted to die when Arkansas State was up 22 with about 9 minutes to play in the NIT game in 1987.
You'd have gotten over it.
I'd have gotten over it.
You would have gotten over it.
I sure would have. That's right.
Came back and won the game.
Mm-hmm.
If Arkansas State beat them, hey, Arkansas's got to get better.
That's right.
If Arkansas beats Arkansas State's got to get better. It's competition. If you want to, talk about it, then do something about it. And I think there's some fresh ideas, and I think some people now understand that. I mean, come on now, do it somewhere. And I don't know. I mean, in Fayetteville, I get it. I get what you're saying. So what? But give Arkansas State enough tickets. Don't shut them out. Give them enough tickets to have a little bit. Maybe not play it. And I used to, there's no place I would rather be than War Memorial Stadium on the sideline and have them, going crazy in that stand. But I understand it's 55,000 as opposed to a couple more
that
million.
Was kind of then too. Yeah. That was kind of a then
Arkansas
thing.
State would probably do it because they'll make more money playing in Fayetteville.
Johnny, well said. We'll do it again next Monday. Dave will be back then, and it'll be week 1. It won't be week 0. Thank you so much.
You too, man. Have a great day.
You got it. John Thompson talking college football with us on Mondays, and you can tell. I mean, he's going to call it like he sees it, and I'm well established on all these. You pick it out, and I'm far on playing. You pick out the in-state places. I think
I'm
should
all
play.
for it. I mean, like we said before, I think we talked about it
and we'll be
Friday.
just fine.
You know, that's what makes the rivalries and the run up to college football fun is seeing other fan bases in your area that you play. You know, it wouldn't be fun to play Ole Miss with the Jabs and everything if I don't mingle with them.
Yeah, and you know, a few years ago, and I know Ole Miss getting the return game this year, and it's been said a lot of times. You know, we're 2 hours into a 4-hour flight to Berkeley, and my friend Harry Harrison on the plane said, you know, we're flying over a lot of places we could be playing college football.
Yeah, you passed a lot of schools.
A lot of schools, and there's a lot of places you could ride, you know, in a caravan with guys and get to the game. I think we should play. I think there should be some just common sense in scheduling in the neighborhood. A lot of people don't like that, but that's where I am, and I think we will go more toward it. Hunter Yurchek and Terry Mahadra, the ADs at Arkansas State University, are in early talks. That's moving a mountain just to get into early talks. Just to get
some
there.
face-to-face talking is incredible.
When we come back, we'll round out this hour with the AP Top 25 out today. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
It's happened again. Miramichi, that heaven in Woodstock, 15 miles north of downtown Memphis. Miramichi has been made the #1 public golf course in the state of Tennessee. 15 minutes from downtown, all this natural beauty. This very tough test of golf is there for you, and it's #1 again. They've improved again, too. They've made changes. They always do. They want you to have the best golfing experience you could possibly have, and they keep on making these adjustments. They've knocked down some trees. They made it easier. They have better conditions with grass. The greens, outstanding. And once again, they are #1. I also should tell you they've got new golf carts, and they've got these cool little things where you hook up your phone, it'll charge, and at the same time, you've got GPS on your phone. All kinds of innovation and a world-class golfing experience at Miramichi in Woodstock.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. I've got great news. Mortgage interest rates have dropped. So if you're thinking about buying a home, right now is the time to lock that low rate, even before you find the home of your dreams. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving, built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Introducing Top Tracer Range, the new ball tracking and gaming system at Golf and Games Family Park. Top Tracer gathers data such as distance, carry, ball speed, and more. Compete against friends in a points game, long drive, and virtual golf at courses such as Pebble Beach and St. Andrews. Golf and Games Family Park is a great setting for group and company outings, golf lessons, or individual practice. Experience fun, friends, family, and introducing Top Tracer Range, the new ball tracking and gaming system at Golf and Games Family Park, 5484 Summer Avenue.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Nothing makes me feel older with you, Drew, than trying to advocate how good ties used to be.
There never was one. Game. Don't lie to me.
I mean, trying to explain the whole black and white TV is hard. That's difficult.
I can see that.
Okay.
I've seen them in movies.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
But you bring in the whole, I saw a lot of great ties. And some of the best games I ever saw were ties. You're a liar. Nobody saw a good tie.
I was telling you about the 1963, and it was told to me. I was one that fall. But it was told to me by many old-timers, experienced veterans, that is 0-0 tie. And it was a great game, classic game. And the next year, 30-0 blowout, not much drama in the big rematch.
I still just don't. I understand that from both sides it was a good game. I mean, I understand that might be a good game back in 1963, but it's sitting here in 2019 where not a single team scores.
All right,
it's boring.
Here's
it's a boring game.
Trying to explain a tie, describing the black and white televisions, are placing a collect telephone call. That's hard for millennials to understand, isn't it?
Is that where I press one or get the operator or what?
You go through the operator. I want to make a collect call to your parents' number, and they come on.
Do I have to press a button first, or just?
Well, yeah. You had to do that, yeah. But there was the party line. The operator just came on.
Now, I have heard of party lines, and I think my grandparents spent about 10, 15 minutes trying to explain it to me.
Oh, if you lived out in the country, you were on a party line. And I mean way out in the country where you go toward town to hunt. You were on a party line. All right, AP Top 25 released today, and I think it's more the gold standard of the rankings for what they really matter now. And we will go through them. And I want you to stop me when we get to somebody that doesn't fit, okay? When we get to the first team that you say, that's a little too high. Number 1, Clemson, I don't think there's any question around it. 2, Alabama, 3, Georgia, 4, Oklahoma, 5, Ohio State, 6, LSU, 7, Michigan, 8, Florida, 9, Notre Dame, 10, Texas, 11, Oregon, 12, Texas A&M. That doesn't really fit. Not this year. Maybe this time next year for A&M. A little soon for A&M. 13, Washington. I'm going to have Washington in my football 4. Yeah, I said it. UW in my football 4. Utah 14, Penn State 15, Auburn 16, Central Florida 17, Michigan State 18, Wisconsin 19, Iowa 20. Iowa State at 21. Is that a little overdone, or have they earned it?
I think they've earned it. I
do
think
too.
Iowa State earned to be there right now.
Syracuse 22, Washington State 23.
Syracuse a little overdone.
See, I think Syracuse is one of my teams that at the end of the year, oh man, they vaulted from 22 to 7 or 8. I bought Dino.
You're going to buy into the orange.
I am. I'm buying into the upset over Clemson at home. 23, Washington State, 24, Nebraska, 25, Stanford. A&M's overrated at 12.
Very overrated.
About a year too soon for them.
I think too soon. I think it's a little too soon to have Nebraska even there at 24. I mean, yeah, Scott Frost showed a little something last year.
You got to baby step a little bit, don't you? 4-8, 7-5. You don't go 4-8, 12-1, do you?
No, and you definitely don't jump into the top 25 like that when you've got a lot of teams receiving votes and some that didn't even receive votes that had plenty of better years than you last year.
I think there are some really good, including the Memphis Tigers, others receiving votes like the Missouri Tigers, like Army, like Mississippi State. And I never get it right on state. If I pick, like last year, 9-3, 10-2, they don't get there. If I pick 6-6, 7-5, they have that kind of other year. So I know state fans are going, well, pick low and finish high. I was telling a Mississippi State fan today, and I'm serious, I could see State 9 or 10 wins easy. Easy. And if he doesn't, if it backs up to just a 7-5, when's he going to have a roster better than the first 2 years he walked in on? And now he's got his style quarterback in Tommy Stevens. I thought A&M was too high. Opening night, Auburn and Oregon, elimination game, week 2, big elimination game. LSU in Texas, and what a clash of fan cultures. 6th Street in Austin that night will have every look of college football fan, from the haughty Texas fan to the this is who we are LSU fan, and then all points in between. That'll be a fun game week 2. Central Florida 17, too high, too low, about right.
I'll say about right. I think probably a little too high. I don't think that they're going to repeat undefeated again this year through the regular season, but off of what they've done the last couple of years, I'll give it to them.
Hour 2 in the books. Quick moving Monday. It stays that way with Barrett Jones. He's next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar, your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Have you ever noticed your air conditioning system never breaks down at a good time? We know at Conway Services the timing's not always right to replace your air conditioning systems. That's why we have financing options available. Right now, during the dog days of summer, get your new Carrier air conditioning system for as low as $99 per month. That's right, Conway Services has new Carrier air conditioning systems as low as $99 per month. Now, you could do that. Plus, your new air conditioning system comes with a 10-year parts warranty, a free Nest thermostat, and you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511, and the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking, no telephone pole to get in your way, a cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Season tickets for the 2019 Memphis Tigers football season are on sale now and start at $100 when you buy 4 in the Family Fun Zone and $150 for end zone seats. The 6-game home schedule is highlighted with matchups against regional foe Ole Miss, plus AAC rivals Cincinnati and Navy. A season ticket includes the same great seat for all 6 home games, plus priority options to buy single game tickets, bowl tickets, and more. Be part of the incredible game day experience and get your seats today at GoTigersGo.com or call 901-678-2331. Stripe up.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model, and if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutoSales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Spencer here with ATC Fitness. We have exciting news. All premium members of ATC Fitness now have access to our newly added hydro massage lounges. That's right, for only $25 a month, you'll have access to all 18 state-of-the-art facilities, access to tanning, and now access to the best massage unit on the market. Come in today and relax with a free demo. You deserve it. Don't forget, you can also sign up online. ATCFitness.com. ATC Fitness, exercise your right to look good.
If you're an outdoorsman and love all things hunting and fishing, be sure to listen to Sports 56 Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. for Outdoors Today. Brought to you by The Gun Store, 6920 Winchester in Memphis. Outdoors Today is a 1-hour show hosted by veteran Mark Tobin and a group of respected outdoor-loving guests. Outdoors Today is dedicated to bringing outdoorsmen tips and techniques and tactics to help with your hunting and fishing in all seasons. Saturday mornings at 6 on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Dave will be back in tomorrow. I'll be out the rest of this week, but whole gang will be back together next Monday, as it'll be game week 1, not week 0 stuff as it is this week, for just the 2 games around college football. Opening week of high school football for a lot of people, both Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, with games Thursday and Friday and Saturday, 2 college games coming up this Saturday. But next week it'll be game week, and it'll be Tigers and Ole Miss week for sure in this area, with a lot of conversation about that game. This hour brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales down on Goodman Road, 5704 Goodman Road in DeSoto County. They have very high standards at DeSoto Auto Sales. All the cars test-driven, checked out from head to toe, and unlimited inventory. Every make and every model, if it's not on the lot, they'll go out and find it for you at DeSoto Auto Sales, where you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, no shortcuts taken at DeSoto Auto Sales, but they do care about your time and want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. You walk in, deal with your sales rep, find the car you want, credit approved, paperwork done, 45 minutes later, you're gone. It's that fast. We're living in a world today that time matters. They know that at DeSoto Auto Sales. It's that simple. Visit DeSoto Auto Sales online at DeSotoAutoSales.com for all the referrals. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184, DeSoto Auto Sales. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales. Next Saturday night, Barrett Jones will be the analyst on ESPN Radio with Sean Kelly. They will be doing the Oregon, this coming Saturday, they'll be doing Miami and Florida. In the following week, they'll be doing Oregon and Auburn. Barrett Jones, 3 times national champion, All-American Outland Trophy winner, and winner of the academic Heisman Trophy in college football, joins us now. He will be with us through college football. Barrett, you ready to go?
All right, how we doing, man? Glad to be back on the show.
Doing great. Glad to have you. You rested? You ready?
Hey, I'm ready to rock, man. It's gonna be a great season. I'm jacked up, ready to go, and I just can't wait for it to get started. I feel like I've talked to several people this week, and they all say the same thing. They say, "Wow, is it already starting? I thought it wasn't until next week." So, it's upon us here, and we're about to be in the midst of what we think is the greatest sport out there, which is college football. So I can't wait.
I know it's the greatest sport out there, and I do love it. Barrett, have you been able? I know the answer is yes, happily married and on with your life. But are there August times, and you've made it well known to us in the past, that you did not like to practice? You never won the I Like to Practice award. But are there times that...
Ironically, Brett actually did win the I Like to Practice award.
Oh, you did?
The ironic part. Hey, I balled out at practice, all right? I mean, I worked just there. The only reason I'm saying that is because there actually was an award called the I Like to Practice Award, and I won it once. So anyway,
but
I had to correct you on that. You don't often get stats wrong, Brett, so I have to capitalize on that.
But I knew you would do it well, but I don't know how much vim and vigor was in it. You said you really liked game day, but are there times that one more time to be in that offensive line room with Joe Pendry, one more time to be working on a game plan with AJ or Greg? Does it ever tug at you?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, look, it's a lot of fun, and there was nothing like getting out there and strapping it up with people. It's a lot of fun. I think more than anything, I miss the brotherhood. I miss the companionship of kind of the closest of a team. You can simulate that in other stuff, but it's just there's nothing quite like it in football. But I think you mentioned at the beginning, you said happily married. I'm kind of a logical guy, and I think about the stage of my life I'm in right now and what I'm doing and how much I enjoy this. Mm-hmm. So you can't have it all. You can't have one without the other. So I wouldn't trade it. But it was definitely a fun run, and it was a blast, and I was very fortunate to play with a lot of great people.
And how times have changed. Now, Clemson, they are the hunted. Today, number one in Associated Press. They should be after that resounding win over Alabama last year. We think we know how it will end nationally. We think we know how it will end East and West in the SEC. If you had to go beneath that, and I'm not saying upset pick, but who are the East and West teams that will put the most pressure on Bama and Georgia on the presumed run to a rematch in Atlanta?
That's a great question, Brad. That's actually something I've been looking at. I've been watching some Florida tape and kind of preparing, looking at those guys and trying to think to myself, who is going to put pressure on these guys? And to be honest, it's really hard to find names. I mean, I think Florida, is a popular pick by some people. But I look at this roster and I look at Georgia's roster, and honestly, I'm just not sure I see it. And I get the storyline that Felipe Franks, probably has improved. His confidence will be better, but that Georgia roster is so stacked. And really, for me, it all comes back to that offensive line. Their offensive line is so talented. They've got so many big bruisers up there. I think they're going to really run the ball well and still have a lot of guys coming back on defense. So, and then in the West, I mean, maybe a trendy pick could be LSU or A&M, but man, how about A&M's schedule this year, having to play, I think it's 5 of the top 13 teams or something like that. That's a brutal schedule. It's hard for me to see how they could end up there. And then LSU, until I see them find a way to beat Alabama, I'm not sure I can pick them over Alabama in the West. So, I think it'll be a fun season. I'm sure we'll have some upsets some places along the way. But it's just hard for me to predict any kind of upset outside of those two in the SEC championship in Atlanta.
Yeah, and we had just gone over the release today, AP Top 25, and I thought Texas A&M voted at 12 was a lot on how they finished last year, and a lot of credit naturally to Jimbo Fisher. I think maybe this time next year for them to be in that spot, but not this year with this team and against that schedule. Week 2, they go to Death Valley. Last week of the year, they go to the other Death Valley. I mean, you got you a schedule when you go to both Death Valleys.
There's no doubt. Look, and I'm buying stock right now in Jimbo and this A&M program in general. I think, you look at the combination of a lot of different factors of a lot of players being in Texas, a lot of money going into that program, a lot of support for Jimbo, the fact that and the program in general, just him kind of getting everything he wanted, almost a blank check to make them relevant. And the way they're recruiting, I think they're going to be a powerhouse in the West over the next 5 to 10 years. I'm just not sure it's going to be this season with that schedule, because you're right. Going to both Death Valleys is brutal, and then playing in the toughest division of football, it certainly doesn't help your case. But, I think they're going to be a really good team, and, they might be one of the best 7-5 or 8-4 teams we've seen in a long time with that schedule.
Barrett, I know what he's accomplished, and it is extraordinary to even be mentioned as possibly better than, and by some, and I'm there, I think what Coach Saban has done, it has exceeded Coach Paul Bear Bryant. But could some places in the SEC maybe going overboard in trying to be little Bama, in trying to copy and paste everything from building to nutrition to every single thing? Because it seems that Dabo has very much made it work, not being the exact replica of Alabama.
No, you're right. I think that's a great point. Obviously, I would say one caveat to that, and I'm sure you would agree with this, is that as different as Dabo and Saban are in some ways, they're probably more alike in other ways than people would realize. As far as, they look very different on the surface, with one's more of kind of a player's coach, a relaxed approach. One is, and obviously you have Coach Saban, who's more of a disciplined type guy. But then I bet when you turn on the practice tape at Clemson, from what I've heard, those guys practice and work extremely hard, extreme attention to detail, very focused on every single day, working to improve. And so I think there are a lot of similarities. How they go about getting those results from their players in practice every day, you're right, is very different. And, I think you kind of have to find your own style as a coach.
You got to be yourself.
You got to be yourself, and because players have a great sense for feeling when a guy is trying to be not himself. It's amazing, kind of like kids and parents. You can. That's going to a deep topic here on a radio show, but as a kid, you can always sort of tell, or even a leader in general, if somebody who you're following is genuine. Is that guy really who he says he is? And so, especially for a coach, when you're playing for a guy, does he really believe in what he's saying? Is he really genuine? Is this kind of who he is? Because if you're up there trying to be something you're not, it's not going to work for your team. And so, there's not a whole lot of dynamic leaders out there like Coach Saban as far as the way he is. I always tell people he's the most focused human being on planet Earth, I think, just because he never he hates distractions. He hardly ever wants downtime or to not be grinding and working at something. That's just what he loves to do. I think a lot of people mistake that for thinking that he's miserable and that he's unhappy. But the guy just loves the grind. He loves grinding. He loves improving. And so, if you don't have that type of guy heading it up, then it's hard to have that type of structure. That's kind of what makes it all tick. Because really, Brett, it's kind of amazing if you think about it. And I know I'm sounding like a Bama homer here, and all the non-Bama people are rolling their eyes. But it's pretty unprecedented, the fact that where we live in as uneven and unbalanced as people claim it is, really, this is as even and balanced rules-wise as college football has ever been.
Oh, yeah.
We have the same number of scholarships, and there's all types of rules trying to even the playing field. And no one's been able to really catch Alabama, obviously Clemson, but no one in the SEC has really been able to match what he's been able to do. And that's pretty incredible and unprecedented to have this long of a run where people don't sort of figure out and reverse engineer your formula and catch up to you. It's a pretty amazing thing that's been accomplished.
I joined a friend of ours on his show in Tuscaloosa, and he was wanting to talk just the history of college football and the inevitable comparisons because of the record, because of the championships of Coach Nick Saban to Coach Bryant. And I said the more apt comparison on the field and in style of former Alabama coaches was really Coach Stallings, because like Coach Stallings, Coach Saban came from an NFL world. Coach Bryant never spent a day around an NFL practice or camp, on the ground, boots on the ground, really working. He'd go visit some of his former players, and he really liked to do that. But Gene Stallings was, a defensive back coach like Coach Saban. That's kind of where they came up through the coaching ranks. And Coach Bryant really wasn't that. But the inevitable comparison comes from the record and the championships. Coach Gene Stallings with just a national championship. But people forget how desperate and how hungry Alabama fans were for that one, just to see, could they win one without anybody with that hat on winning a title?
Oh, no doubt. I think that's a great point. That definitely is a good comparison. And both of those guys really, in a lot of ways, sort of rebuilt the program. I think if you really break down Coach Saban to what he is at his core, he's a builder. He loves constructing and building and shaping and molding a culture, and really being able to go in and turn around and
you can
a
say
place
you
and
can
make
say
them believe
process.
in a certain way.
You can say process.
Yeah. He's a process guy. He really is. I mean, it's incredible, and I agree that I don't know Coach Stallings probably as well as you do it after in watching him. But I definitely see a lot of those same similarities. And listening to Coach Stallings talk, obviously he's got a little older, and I think a lot of people when they get older that maybe soften and a little more jolly. But you can tell he was a very intense guy back in his day. You watch that tape, and you can see the type of coach that he was, and talk to his players. That he was bringing a lot of intensity.
And I mentioned kind of the difference in styles, maybe on the surface of Alabama and Clemson. But at the very Clemson heart, at the core, and you mentioned when it gets down to practice time, what you hear and what you've seen, you got to remember Dabo Swinney played for Gene Stallings. That is his coaching mentor. Woody McCorvey, his football ops guy. Danny Perriman, Mickey Kahn that played at Bama with him is his secondary coach. I mean, they're maybe not the sunshine and daffodils, everybody having the good time in the locker room that you see with Clemson, but when it gets down to business, it has a lot of Alabama to it. This Saturday night, you will call the Miami game against the Florida Gators, the Miami Hurricanes against the Florida Gators. What do you expect to see with Manny Diaz's defense against his old boss, Dan Mullen?
Yeah, it should be an interesting game, and I think it's obviously always fun when you have two name-brand teams facing off in the kickoff game. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you're right, there are a lot of different storylines. I think the big question mark is what will we see? Will we see any improvement from that Miami offense? Last year they were atrocious. Manny Diaz's defense was the fourth best defense in the country. They had a lot of studs over there on that side of the football, but just couldn't hold up with a terrible, for lack of a better term, offense, one of the worst offenses in the country last year that ultimately led Mark Richt in a series of events, maybe of his own choosing, to be not coaching anymore. So I think Manny Diaz is going to do a great job. I'm excited about the future of Miami. I think it's good for college football in general when Miami has a good team. It definitely the ACC needs some better teams, and if you look at Miami's schedule, they have a decent chance to win their division. Obviously, whether or not they win or lose this game, because obviously Florida's not a divisional game, and the fact that it's a game that's not played probably often enough with two in-state teams. So I think it's going to be a blast. Felipe Franks, obviously another huge storyline. Will he take a big step forward this year? One thing I talked about a lot last year is I believe there's only a few coaches in the country who are true quarterback whisperers, if you will, guys who understand the quarterback position and guys who really know how to coach it and teach it and show guys how to play it. And I think each of these teams has one. Obviously, it's not Manny Diaz. I don't think he would claim to be a quarterback whisperer. But Dan Enos, who I'm a huge fan of, he's over there at Miami. So I'm excited to see. They announced a few weeks ago that Jaron Williams will be their starter. I'm excited to see what he'll not Tate Martell like a lot of people thought. An unheard of guy named Jaron Williams is a redshirt freshman. He's only through 3 passes in his career. Excited to see, and we've already seen kind of what Dan's been able to do with Felipe Franks in a shortened season, and we'll see now with a full off season as a starter, a competent quarterback, can he take a big step forward? So it should be a lot of fun. Two good defenses. It's a big game for Florida. I think Miami, win or lose, they'll be okay. But if Florida loses this game, there'll be a little bit of heat on Dan Mullen. Maybe not his job, but just some more heat with all the recruiting noise, with the guys leaving the team. It will not be a good look to lose this game for Florida. So some heat on Dan Mullen to win this one.
Dan Mullen coaching Felipe Franks, and you mentioned on the other side Dan Enos. And I think, everybody kind of has a player. Instead of just showing your resume, you just put the picture up of this player and what he got out of him. And I go to what Dan Enos did at Arkansas with Brandon Allen. And Saturday night, watching that Rams-Cowboys preseason game, Brandon Allen stuck in L.A. He's not going to get ahead of Jared Goff. I think someday Brandon Allen from Fayetteville High School in Fayetteville, Arkansas, I think he will be a big-time NFL quarterback, and Dan Enos made him better.
No doubt. I'm telling you, there's only a few quarterback whispers out there. And, people are starting to catch on to this, too. It's not it is kind of a newish phenomenon that coaches are realizing this, that, hey, just because we have this guy on our staff who's an offensive coordinator doesn't mean that he really knows how to coach the quarterbacks. And that's why you're seeing more and more teams use that extra assistant position to have a true quarterbacks coach, right? Someone who's not worried about the offense as a whole, who's worried about only watching the most important position on the field. And it hurts me to say that, Brett. The most important position on the field, quarterback, watching every step he takes, his footwork, what he's looking at, and not looking at the way the offense as a whole is working. That's so important to have a guy like that out there. And Danny Enos is as good as they come.
He's Barrett Jones, Outland Trophy winner, All-American, 3-time national champ, winner of the Heisman Trophy of Academics, and also winner of the Jerry Duncan I Like to Practice Award at Alabama.
Thank you, Brett.
Barrett, I'll never short you again. You get any more acclaim, I'm not going to have time to introduce you.
Well, thank you. And for people who don't know, that I like the practice award is just kind of an award at spring practice they give to people who, they're like, we don't really know what else to give this guy. He's not most improved. He's not this. So we'll just give him the I like the practice award. So, it was not that's probably not my headliner, but I did, I couldn't let you throw that past me without telling you that I did win the I like to practice.
Where do you keep your Outland trophy?
Oh gosh, at my parents' house somewhere in a box.
Oh really? Donate it or lend it. Don't donate it. Lend it to the Bryant Museum for display, Barrett.
Well, they have a copy of it.
Okay.
So don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll put it up Sunday. I would like to keep it. I just got to. I don't have I bought a new house a few years ago and still haven't moved it over.
Very
my
good.
parents are on me to get the hardware out, but haven't done it yet.
Will you take a picture of it and send it to me? I'd like to see it.
All right, I'll do it.
Because I like trophies and memorabilia. Barrett, great job today. We'll do it again next Monday, and you will already have called one game and be preparing for a blockbuster game the following Saturday. You'll be at a blockbuster game every week. Thank you, man.
Thanks a lot, Brad. Have a good one.
You got it. Barrett Jones talking college football with us. What a distinguished college career. Three times play on a national championship team, and the 1 year they didn't, his sophomore year, that bowl game, that slaughter of Michigan State, 49-7, it really should have been 56-zip. The Bama defensive back jumped the receiver, had it read right for the pick six, goes through the wickets, so he just turned it upfield. That the one score Michigan State had, it should have made it 56-zip for Bama. And Barrett has told me that bowl preparation that week, that really set the foundation for what was coming the next few years. One of his teammates those first 2 years, Julio Jones, now being reported that he is in contract negotiation with the Falcons for a new deal, and he's worth every penny of it. He is the difference maker.
You pay him. If he wants to hold out, I completely understand.
Sometimes, and I'm very guilty of it, to the defeated, we sometimes kind of forget about them. If the Falcons hang on to that 28-3 lead, just somehow, someway, if they win it in overtime, the MVP of that game was going to be Julio Jones, and a couple of those catches would be on that Super Bowl reel for the rest of our lives. I mean, what he did that day was better than anything Lynn Swann ever did, except they didn't win. And to the victor go the spoils. When we come back, we will go over game. I will do my game by game, the order of importance for the Tigers this year, starting with the least at number 12 all the way to number 1. I know you and Dave are going to do it later in the week, and I want you to save mine to compare. And I want your comments as we're doing it. And I want your comments at 360-8255 at the First Bank phone line and at the text line at 67129. You can message us at Sports56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. We want to hear from you, and we appreciate the way that you can communicate with us. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work, and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours. The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris Drew and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Let's say you just bought a house. Bad news is, you're one step closer to becoming your parents. You'll proudly mow the lawn. Ask if anybody noticed you mowed the lawn. Tell people to stay off the lawn. Compare it to your neighbor's lawn. And complain about having to mow the lawn again. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance, which, of course, will go right into the lawn. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Are you tired of all the clouds and bad weather? Rain brings pollutants that can wreak havoc on your car's finish, but there is someone who can help. Car Wash USA Express has introduced their most advanced car wash yet with the exclusive Polymer Pro Wash, creating a stronger, more consistent protective sealant for your car's finish. Polymer Pro can only be found at Car Wash USA Express, where attendants are always on duty to keep you and your vehicle safe. For more information and locations, visit CarWashUSAExpress.com. Car Wash USA Express, because a dirty car is a dirty shame.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between, in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. It's an exciting time to be a Memphis Tiger fan, and we at Five Ash Roofing have decided to share our excitement. We are proud members of the Tigers home team, which means we sponsor the Tigers athletic department, and we're also season ticket holders to both the football and basketball programs. We will be giving away 2 and sometimes 4 tickets to most of the games this coming year. To have a chance at winning the tickets, find our Facebook page, like, and share our post. The more you share, the more chances you have to win. We also want to give away some tickets to those who wouldn't otherwise get a chance to go. So, you can go to memphisroofer.com or 5ash.com and send us a note why you or someone you know should get the tickets. And as always, 5Ash Roofing is fair, honest, and ethical. We're experts in all forms of roofing for both residential and commercial buildings. 5Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Thank you very much, Drew Barrett. Final 30 minutes of this day, home stretch. We will wrap it up with Taco Bell crunch time, but also want people to know that we're going to do my order of import for the Tiger games for 2019 after I tell you about Harry's. Look, all summer, I've loved having that fresh shave, that summer breeze against my face after that smooth shave with my Harry's razor. One of the best ways to stay cool this summer has been with that close, comfortable shave with Harry's. Refresh your face and your wallet with blades as low as $2 each. Harry's believes you shouldn't have to trade great quality for a low price. You deserve both, and you'll get both. Get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Use stats at harrys.com. Harry's believes very much in giving back, but they also have that 100% quality guarantee. If you don't love your shave, let them know. They'll give you a refund. Harry's cares very much about giving back 1% of all sales donated to charitable organizations. This summer, Harry's has a special offer for listeners of our show. New customers get $5 off a trial set from Harry's with code STATS at harrys.com. That means you get a razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping when you use code STATS at harrys.com. And when you run out, remember Harry's replacement cartridges, just $2 each. When I shave with Harry's, and I suggest very much you do the very same thing. Go to harrys.com and find out more. Okay, so the 12 games, I think we all can agree that in the importance, week 2, but it serves a purpose. Win or lose opening day, that's a pretty good scheduling job done to go out there and have a legit game and to see exactly what you got wrong and exactly what you got right. Kind of a battlefield assessment from week 1, but number 12 is Southern. Agreed?
Agreed.
Number 11, a road trip to South Alabama. Number 10, road trip to Louisiana Monroe. Number 9, first conference game on the list at Tulsa. Tulsa not picked to have a very good year, didn't have a very good one last year. Number 8, home against SMU. Number 7, a big concern game for me. Like I had circled last year, just kind of somebody in kind of in this dynamic, kind of this description type game, going to Temple, number 7. Number 6, Tulane at home, revenge for all I just said from last year. 6 at Tulane at home. Number 5, Navy in your division. Any rosy scenario, big picture, or West, that's got to be a W, doesn't it? At home?
Has to be.
Number 4, Ole Miss. 4th. Heavy favorite. At home. Right now, Mike Norvell's program positioned more like he wants it than Matt Luke probably has his right now. Building, coming out of sanctions and scandal and all that's gone with that. Number 4. Disagree?
No, I don't disagree. And, honestly, I don't have to do mine officially, I guess, till tomorrow or whenever Dave decides he wants to do it throughout the week. So, I'm still a lightly shaded pencil guy. It's not in Sharpie. It's not in the ballpoint ink until deadline.
That's in ink right there.
Well, I still got a day or two. My deadline isn't up, so I'm still in lightly shaded pencil. And in my lightly shaded pencil, I might even have Ole Miss all the way as far down as 9. Because to me, conference games matter more. It just I know the importance of the game and how much much I want to win the game for the backyard brawl rivalry. But when it comes down to it, I'm not getting to the Cotton Bowl off of this one game. I'm getting to the Cotton Bowl off of what I do in the American Athletic Conference.
I agree with that, but the conference games of less importance than Ole Miss, Navy, Tulane at home, SMU at home, on the road at Tulsa, none of that's Murderer's Row. At Temple's the concern.
Yes, Temple is definitely the Tulane game of this year that you could lose it, and it's been a Tulane type of game. Fell to them last time. I believe we were in Philadelphia, or maybe not last time, but the year before that. I believe it was 2014.
Next weekend, opening weekend, Tulane and Florida International will be a good matchup. That's Butch Davis against Willie Fritz, and that is a good coaching matchup. Number 4, Ole Miss. 3, at USF, at South Florida, at Raymond James Stadium. Number 2, the day after Thanksgiving, home against Cincinnati. Could decide in a rematch the next week whether it's at Cincinnati or in Memphis. Number 1, it leaves one game left at Houston.
Yeah, I completely agree with number 1 and number 12. Now, everything else might shake up a little different for me. Pretty much maybe from 6 to 11, but I think you've nailed pretty much the top 5. And at the beginning of the show, when I told you I think everybody should have the same set, 1 and 12, Houston's the most important game on the schedule by a mile.
Because we know what it has decided in the past.
Yes.
And
and ultimately, it will whether
Western
or not
Division,
you host or not, you still have to win the division, and the division goes through Houston.
Yeah, again, very surprised Houston, that big a underdog week 1 at Norman against Oklahoma, 25-point underdog for Dana Holgerson's Cougars going to Houston. Now, they did spring the upset when they played in Houston a few years ago at NRG. I don't know if anybody's calling for the upset this time, but 25 points seems like a lot. Luke Fickell at Cincinnati, all of college football recognizing the job he's doing at Cincinnati after being the interim the 1 year at Ohio State.
Yeah, I think they've received about as many preseason votes to win the east side of the conference as Central Florida and South Florida. So it's kind of a deadlocked three-way tie right now. Cincinnati is coming off of a 10-win season. I don't know if they can build off that momentum. I don't know if they've got the right pieces there yet to continuing it going to where it's now a regular thing back for the Bearcats.
And in the conference realignment, losing the Big East for them, it was big. They played in a Sugar Bowl with Tony Pike at quarterback. I mean, they really had to take their lumps with the realignment. They're the other end of Rutgers.
Yeah, a lot of the schools in the American were like that. UConn, they were in a BCS game. South Florida, they were in a BCS game. Central Florida was in a BCS game. I mean, not everybody got as lucky as Rutgers. Where Rutgers, heck,
and Maryland,
I don't know if Rutgers could win CUSA.
I don't know that they could. I don't know if they could win any of those conferences.
I don't know if they win the MAC, the Sun
I know
Belt.
They couldn't. I think good football's played down there.
They do have a lot of great football, and I don't know what's wrong with Rutgers. I mean, how can it be that bad? It hasn't always been that bad. They had great years, or at least decent years, if my memory serves me
with
right.
Schiano, that was about it.
Yeah, Ray Rice, they had pretty decent teams. I mean, they've never been world beaters or anything like
Teal
that.
Quarterback.
But it shouldn't be where
Kenny Brett at receiver.
Yeah, it's a program like that in the Big Ten in the state of New Jersey where they actually, a lot of great talent comes out of the state of New Jersey.
But they don't want to go there.
They don't want to go there. And your expectation every year shouldn't be 2-10.
So I had Southern 12, South Alabama 11, Lou Monroe 10, Tulsa 9, SMU 8, Temple 7, Tulane 6, Navy 5, Ole Miss 4, USF 3, Cincinnati 2, Houston 1. How did the Tigers get into having to go to Mobile and play South Alabama, and they opening weekend against Nebraska, and also to Louisiana Monroe? Wonder how that scheduling quirk happened.
Opening dates. You just got to play them when you can. I mean, especially if you have the 1-for-1s or the 2-for-1 deals, you've eventually got to play there. And I guess they just, scheduling-wise, between their future scheduled dates when it was scheduled and our future scheduled dates, that was the only thing to do.
I think I know the answer. Would you rather see those type of games in a 2 or 3-1, or would you rather see no chance of return game, but you go to FSU, you go to Nebraska, you go to, one of the all-time names?
Yeah, I'm going to the all-time game because, I mean, heck, in a couple of years, I'm going to Purdue, just the one there, no return.
And that's all, not only going to Purdue, but that's going to the land of the Big Ten.
I'm going to the Big Ten. I'm going to go see the Sid McKay house that Drew Brees built on Purdue's campus.
You're going to go and
I'm going to enjoy myself.
You're going to go see the trophy case at West Lafayette of Hank Stram as the Purdue baseball coach in the early 50s. How about that?
I'm going to check that out, definitely.
Hank Stram, baseball coach. He seems like an Earl Weaver type, didn't he?
Yeah,
he really did.
I'll give him that.
You and Dave would do that later in the week, and interesting to see how close we are. I get the case for it's not the most important because of the conference thing, but I don't think Ole Miss needs to be that down ballot just for the historical aspect and the fun. I do not mean.
I probably went a little overboard when I said maybe as far down as 9.
There's a reason why, and it was that big. But you beat Tulsa, you beat SMU, you beat Temple, you beat Tulane, you beat Navy. There aren't any T-shirts printed for those wins.
No, I'm not rocking a "We beat Tulsa" shirt.
No, nor should you.
No,
and I don't think if Memphis is the winner this time, there will be any this time.
I doubt it.
I don't know. Some entrepreneur,
I mean, we are T-shirt town, Brett.
We are.
We'll make T-shirts for anything.
We are, and I can see why you should be happy about it. But I'm glad of the game. I'm looking forward to the last of the build-up next week. We will make our predictions on Friday, August 30th, on Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Memphis. On that same day, we will have SEC East and West and championship game predictions. We'll also have college football, the Final Four, the Final Two, championship, and Heisman Trophy winner all on that Friday. We'll start next week, next Monday. We're doing picks on Vandy, South Carolina, Mizzou. On Tuesday, Kentucky, Florida, Georgia. On Wednesday, LSU, Auburn, A&M. On Thursday, AAC East and West, Bama, State, and Arkansas. And then Friday, wrap it up with, the most local of the locals, Tennessee, Ole Miss, and the hometown team, the Memphis Tigers. We'll do that on Friday. Yesterday, there were a lot of odds released by Phil Steele from the Westgate in Vegas on season over and under totals. He had practically every team out there except for the Tigers. Have you seen a latest season over under number?
I haven't seen a new one. I believe the original one came out at 10 or 10.5. But I haven't seen that since probably early July when they first all came out. And that's a hard one to bet. 10.5. That's a real tough one to bet an over-under on. Or at least to fully commit to an over.
Well, they know what they're doing setting those lines.
Vegas really does. They know how to get us.
Last year it was 9, wasn't it? Or 8.5.
It was 8.5, and they finished with 8.
And they finished with 8. It's all on regular season. 67129 Texas says number 9 should be Ole Miss. All conference games more important. Well, some of them are, before you ever play them, you're going to win that game, though.
That's true. And that's what that.
I mean, there's no over 10.5 with a loss to Tulsa, SMU, or Navy.
No, I think the texter kind of feels the exact same way as me is about how important conference games are because
I'm with you.
Winning the conference is what's going to get me to Dallas December 28th. Will beating Ole Miss August 31st help me get to December 28th? Yes, but will it be as important as beating Navy, South Florida, Cincy, Houston, Temple, SMU?
But this year, this 2019 matchup may be the first time ever that this game is more important to Ole Miss than to Memphis.
I think it is.
Because the whole vibe, the whole shaking off the controversy and the sanctions and just coming out of this malaise that frankly has been hanging over the program for 16, 17, and 18.
I mean, beating Memphis week 1, August 31st, kind of parts the clouds. You start to see the sun. You start to see the horizon.
Sure does it.
You see what can still come and what's still there.
Kind of can be happy again.
You can. You have something to celebrate. Have some momentum. Lose that game, man. Those clouds may never part, and it might start raining.
Well, and maybe
for a lot of people, how they feel the season's going to happen.
And a lot of ugly questions would spring up on Thursday. Greg and Eli will be down at All-Star Chevrolet doing their show from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., doing middays. Lunch will be served at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch on August 22nd, this Thursday, from 11 to 1. They start at 10. Lunch starts at 11 to honor all first responders, a big fish fry, and so much more. Lots of food and beverages, door prizes, and an ice cream truck. If you're a first responder, please come to All-Star Chevrolet, and lunch will be on the crew at All-Star. If you appreciate the first responders, come have lunch with some of the Mid-South's finest at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, not South Haven, in Olive Branch. Test drive as many new Chevys as you want, the new 2020 Silverado, the 2020 Chevy Blazer. Ask about the all-new 2020 Corvette. Find new roads to Olive Branch, and don't miss lunch at All-Star Chevy on August 22nd. And don't miss Greg and Eli. They will be there doing their show on Thursday. It's Olive Branch, not South Haven. All-Star Chevy on Kraft Goodman Road, or go to allstarautogroup.com. We come back, we wrap up this Monday, and for me, a Friday. That's next. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
If you've always thought, hey, I'd look pretty good in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus thinks so, too. Lexus is offering you the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Great offers on all 2019 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2019 flagship LS500. Hey, you look pretty good there. Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event at Lexus of Memphis. Experience amazing.
John Burgess, we're still in the afterglow of a very successful golf tournament.
Brett, I want to convey my sincere thanks to Daryl Smith and his staff at Jack Salmons and the board and CBS for putting on such a great golf tournament. Not only did we see great golf and saw Memphis and St. Jude painted in such a positive way, we got to show Memphis as the great foodie town that it is. From Andrew Michael to barbecue, and I especially want to express my appreciation for the cooperation shown by all the barbecue places at the pit. Even though we're competitors, we certainly work together to produce great barbecue. Especially I want to thank Walker Taylor with Germantown Commissary, Elizabeth Blondus with Central Barbecue, Ernie Meller with Hog Wild, and Pat Donahue and our staff at the Rendezvous. Dining out in Memphis is one of my great pleasures. Of course, we want everyone to come to the Rendezvous, but don't forget all the other great food establishments where all our friends and family work hard every day putting out great products and quality service. Food is one of those understated assets the world needs to know about Memphis.
The Rendezvous since 1948 in the alley in downtown Memphis.
Spencer here with ATC Fitness. We have exciting news. All premium members of ATC Fitness now have access to our newly added hydro massage lounges. That's right, for only $25 a month, you'll have access to all 18 state-of-the-art facilities, access to tanning, and now access to the best massage unit on the market. Come in today and relax with a free demo. You deserve it. Don't forget, you can also sign up online. ATCFitness.com. ATC Fitness, exercise your right to look good.
Season tickets for the 2019 Memphis Tigers football season are on sale now and start at $100 when you buy 4 in the Family Fun Zone and $150 for end zone seats. The 6-game home schedule is highlighted with matchups against regional foe Ole Miss, plus AAC rivals Cincinnati and Navy. A season ticket includes the same great seat for all 6 home games, plus priority options to buy single game tickets, bowl tickets, and more. Be part of the incredible game day experience and get your seats today at GoTigersGo.com or call 901-678-2331. Stripe up.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
Here once again
are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time.
You are looking live. It's crunch time.
In your life have you seen anything like that?
We'll take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
Crunch time, that's the frustrating part.
Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way?
It's crunch time, so I got a different mind state.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
He throw those ears forward. He was in stroke mode.
This is stupid.
It's obviously crunch time.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. All right, I'm issuing an order now, and I don't often issue orders, do I? I usually ask.
No, you don't.
No chicanery with the picks on Wednesday.
Scouts on.
You know who I want because
I know. I got you.
With my Justin Thomas win, I am only 631, 248 behind you know who.
Trust me. If I'm going to skew this thing, it's not going to be for you know who's favor.
There's a word that rhymes with skew?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave's still in the lead. How about my Justin Thomas win? I know I learned today that the Oakland A's and Mr. Moneyball, Mr. Brad Pitt, Billy Beane, they could be back in the playoffs in back-to-back years. It hadn't been very often that they've done that, and they've never won a series. They've never advanced under Billy Beane. They have not won a postseason game since sweeping the Giants in the Earthquake World Series in 1989. They have not won a postseason. That's right. They haven't won a game. No, they won the ALCS in 90. They got swept by the Reds in the World Series. So they won a game then. But Moneyball, he's won a lot, but not a lot of postseason success for him. What'd you learn?
Sorry.
Don't worry.
Learned today that I
know the feeling.
Yeah. Learned today I need to buy an Xbox or a PS4 for the new NBA 2K20 game. And it's not buying it so I can play the game. I just want to watch it. They released their trailer for their My Career Story mode called When the Lights Are Brighter. If you haven't seen the trailer, I highly recommend you go watch, because this is a show I would like for them to produce 12 seasons of, so I can binge watch it. I mean, just the storyline feels like a TV drama.
Real quick, manager of the Oakland A's, our guy, come on. Our guy, not Ken Maka. Not Art Howe. Who is it? Not Rocco Baldelli. Who is it?
If you would ask me 2 seconds ago, I literally said it in my head 2 minutes ago.
Bob Melvin.
Bob Melvin.
Could have done without the whole Antonio Brown saga. It'll be this all year with him. I just don't know how much he really wants to play. It looks like he's constantly trying to find some reason not to be at practice, and he will never make the trip to Vegas, nor will Chucky Gruden. John Gruden has to be thinking, why did Mike Tirico ever take that NBC deal and break up one of the great broadcasting duos ever with Tirico and John Gruden on Monday Night Football? Much better than Gruden was with Sean McDonough. What is it you could have done without?
I could have done without Zeke feeling disrespected by Jerry Jones's greatest joke of all time.
He was kidding.
Zeke
Wasn't
too.
It funny, man.
Oh, greatest joke of all time.
Better than Garrison Keillor on Golden Pond.
Joke Hall of Fame. And I don't understand the feeling so disrespected. I mean, Jerry did follow it up saying how we do want Zeke in camp. We do want him. But Zeke, what do you think Jerry Jones is going to say when one of the players he's been asked about has been having a great camp and just scored another touchdown, and you're sitting in Mexico, man? Like, of course he's going to say more nice things about Tony Pollard, who's wearing a Cowboys jersey, scored a touchdown for him, and is having one of the best rookie camps out of all rookies this year.
I'm keeping an eye tonight on Monday Night Football. It's a dress rehearsal for teams and broadcasters. 49ers at Denver. That was once a Super Bowl matchup and a Super Bowl route down in New Orleans. It won't be this year's Super Bowl, both with plenty of questions. Kyle Shanahan against his dad's old team, now led by Vic Fangio. Last week of tough practices around college football as we get into game week next week. But this week, it's the end of the grind. They'll be glad for school to start. Also, Dwight Howard's last days as a member of the Memphis Grizzlies. It's like it really never happened. Did you get a jersey?
I tried, but they're on back order. So I don't think I'll get it in time. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Also tonight, baseball, Brewers and Cardinals at Busch Stadium. Astros, heavy favorites over the Detroit Tigers. Dylan Carlson at AutoZone Park, he's worth going to see downtown. We may not have him here next year, so you need to go see him this week as the season wraps up for the Memphis Redbirds. He hit a titanic home run yesterday at a place most baseballs go to die in that force field in center field. What do you keep an eye on tonight?
Keeping a close eye on the 49ers at Broncos tonight. O's hosting the Royals. Cards versus Brewers. White Sox at Twins. And, of course, AB, Zeke, and any other news coming out of NFL camps.
Zeke Elliott signs before opening day, doesn't he? He reports.
No, he doesn't. He's going to play this boneheadedly and try to Le'Veon Bell it, even though he doesn't have Le'Veon Bell money, and he's going to ruin himself.
Nor the clout.
I'm starting to run out of faith in him.
Because it's 2 years they could franchise him. Bell had the upper hand last year. I just don't see the bargaining power for Ezekiel Elliott, but maybe he will get it.
And a lot of people out there felt like Le'Veon Bell are trying to show support, saying, hey, hold out, young man, until you get paid. Well, Le'Veon Bell, you going to give him part of your paycheck so he can get through?
Thank you to Ted Butler. Thank you to David Cobb. Thank you to John Thompson. Thank you to Barrett Jones. You guys hold the fort down again. No stuff with the picks on Wednesday.
I told you. I'm not going to skew anything for him.
And make sure people know what OWGR means.
I will. Official World Golf Ranking.
It's 20 and up this week. That doesn't mean 17.
I mean, if John picks it, what's 3 picks among them?
Well, then he's the guest.
And he's the guest.
I mean,
Dave out of bounds is out of bounds.
Dave, higher standards, loftier standards he should have. For Dave, for Drew, I'm Brett. I'll be out the rest of the week, but we'll be back next Monday. I'm going to see a bunch of football practice the rest of the week. Thank you for listening. And Dave and Drew, we'll talk to you tomorrow at 3.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is John Stacy of the Blue and Gray Show. You can hear Drew Barrett and I talk Tigers with Tigers every Sunday at 5 right here on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Drew, who do we got in the studio with us this week?
This week, it's a U of M QB special with Lloyd Patterson and Danny Spartman in studio with John. We'll also have Danny Wimprine and Tony Scarpino on the phone. This is one you won't want to miss.
Thanks, Drew. We'll be here Sunday on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. The Blue and Gray Show, where we talk Tigers with Tigers.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles, when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Chase Lim and Brace.
I'm not a big talker. I am a big doer. But sometimes the only way to solve the problem is to get on the horn and figure it out. So the only people I like talking to? Grainger. With knowledgeable product experts, ready with the answers to my toughest questions, calling Grainger is the one conversation I don't mind having. From machining and motor parts to valves and vacuum pumps. When it comes to solving my problems, Grainger's got my back. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM